seems like we just kicked it off. Now time for the final state championship game of 2025. Already a banner contest for Cleveland County here in Durham. The Crest Chargers have another. Or with a group out of the East, the Warriors of J.B. Hunt have their say in the 5A state championship game. With that, we do welcome you back to Durham. And Eric Gash, it has been quite a ride through now 8 contests, counting this one, where state champions have been crowned, and it all comes down to a primetime contest for these two.
Here we go, JP. Once again, you hit the weight room. You're in class. You're working hard all year, and it culminates right here. Only thing left to do is to play this game.
Already a great deal of energy, as we'll show you in a bit, between these two teams. One thing you know we focus on, the playmakers. We've seen plenty of them in Durham already. Who do you highlight when you come into this one tonight?
Well, when you're looking at Hunt, you have to look at number 99, C.J. Dickerson. What I love, JP, is this young man accounts for about 30% of the sacks. 46 tackles for loss, 46 sacks from a defensive perspective. He has 15 of them.
Well, he will certainly be trying to disrupt for the crew out of the East. When you flip over to this Crest team, it comes down to a guy who's got a bright future ahead of him.
Yeah, Eli Hamrick, you check him out, 2,686 yards, 29 touchdowns. It begins and ends with the arm of Eli Hamrick.
Headed to grounds, and we'll talk a little bit more about how things look in the future for all the individual performers in this one tonight. But first things first, a state championship is on the line. Give us your Ingles food for thought. What does it come down to keys-wise?
Yeah, so if you're for Hunt, you want to limit the turnovers, right? And then you want to force and create those on the defensive side and limit the penalties and mistakes.
And when you flip over to the Crest side of things, what do the Chargers have to do to be successful?
So you're looking at Crest. You are going to have to protect the quarterback, pass protection, and then stop the quarterback run. This guy runs the ball, JP, and he makes the decisions for Hunt, and so you're going to have to corral him and keep him bottled in as best you can.
Few of the games within the game to keep an eye on as we get set for this one. That's our Ingles food for thought, your keys to the contest. Now time to meet the third member of our broadcast team. Here's Madison.
Well, tonight's an opportunity for both of these teams to achieve the goals that they set in the preseason. And for Hunt, it's an opportunity to make history and potentially bring home their first state championship. And their confidence has not wavered all season long. Isaiah Chadwick, a senior on this Warriors team, said they knew back in week 1 this was a state finals team. He said the Hunt mojo is back, and now they are 1 win away from history. On the other side, Crest comes in just as confident, but this week brought some adversity for the Chargers. Several players and coaches battled the flu and missed practices throughout the week. They took extra precautions, wearing masks, and made sure to sanitize everything they could. But head coach Greg Lloyd said they didn't have everyone back in practices until yesterday. He says tonight, though, everyone is dressed, feeling good, and ready to go. We'll be back with the NCHSAA 5A state championship game when we come back right after this.
Storms can come up fast, and your roof is your home's first line of defense. Tip Top Roofing is fully licensed, insured, and trusted by homeowners, HOAs, and real estate professionals. From the smallest repairs to the largest residential replacements, we handle it all, including gutters and siding. As a CertainTeed Select Shingle Master, we offer up to 25 years of workmanship coverage and a lifetime materials warranty. Ask about our senior and veteran discounts and schedule your free inspection today at tiptoproofing.net.
I am so
Why can no one help you?
Waiting is the worst. I think it's
Healthcare is broken.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, we get it.
Really?
Really. That's why we're making healthcare better for all. Starting with you. Yes, you, Daryl. We're making plans easier to navigate by putting your benefits, prescriptions, and details all in one place. Convinced?
No. But it's a start.
We'll take it. Blue Cross North Carolina. Making healthcare better for all. Starting with you.
And the lights are bright on this Saturday night in Durham. We welcome you back to Durham County Memorial Stadium, site of the Class 5A championship game in the Old North State. Coin toss taking place as we speak between the Warriors and the Chargers, as Hunt, seeking its first title all time, goes against a Crest team looking for its 7th championship in school history. With that stage set, our pleasure to welcome you back. And Eric Gash, I ask you right away, you look at these two coaches and the journey they have traveled to get here. There's a look at Coach Lloyd, whose Crest team has this as the mission each and every year. What can you say about the Crest journey?
Yeah, he says they have a lot of returning vets and expecting that leadership. And, you know, we heard Madison talk about adversity they had throughout the course of the week with the illness. Hey, it's time for these guys to step up because this is it, right? This is the final game of some of these young men's careers. Some will go on and play on Saturday, but I tell you something, JP, now's the time.
Here's Coach Jackson. Again, it would be a first if he can lead this team to victory.
Yeah, he says believing in each other's and hard work and determination and the maturity of this young team, he said that's their key to success.
On a 43-degree evening in the Tar Heel State, we are set for the Original Grills kickoff, which will put the final state championship game for the season in motion. Think on it. Just what seems like a few short hours ago, now just under 72, 8 championship games at 3 venues in 3 days, and it all comes down to this. There's the Original Grills kickoff. And Hunt will watch this roll on the proper side of the pylon for Crest for a touchback. And Hunt will take over after they bring it out of the end zone with the touchback. Well, 2 special quarterbacks in this one. We did not highlight Mez Harris in the open, but he will be critical in the contest.
He certainly will, JP. Listen, 1,400 yards passing, over 1,200 yards rushing, 16 rushing touchdowns, 8 passing touchdowns. This young man here is going to be exciting to watch, JP, but he's a dual threat, truly a dual threat. So this RPO will be interesting to see how Crest handles that.
Took the words right out of my mouth. That's what they said about him this week. He's the definition of a dual threat QB. Hands off right away. You get to see initially some of the surrounding cast for Harris. And here's how they line up as we glance at the starting lineup for Hunt.
Yeah, I like the running back, Durian Jones. He has rushed for 1,754 yards, 21 touchdowns, but that offensive line up front is going to be key, JP.
All of our starting lineups brought to you by Affordable Dentures and Implants. Use your 2025 dental benefits now. Get the smile you deserve. AffordableDentures.com, where you can find out the practice near use options. Well, 2 times keeping it on the ground, and both times the Crest defense, which looks like this, wins the day.
Yeah, you look at number 5, Khalid Clark. He just pressed the issue, attacked Reed downhill, 10 tackles for loss, 72 tackles on the season. And, you know, that secondary for Crest is star-studded. You have 2 ACC commits in Duke at NC State and 1 going to Gardner-Webb, and that's Pettis, Surratt, and Walton.
Yeah, they won't be wearing friendly colors moving forward, right?
That's
going to be
correct.
on the opposite sides of some of those rivalries. That's your starting lineups for both teams. And over the middle it goes, tipped up, nearly intercepted, but incomplete.
Yeah, it looks like number 8 linebacker Nehemiah Parker gets depth, and he's dropping and he's moving his feet. Looked like he had a man-to-man. Tried to get one of those one-handed grabs so he could maybe get on ESPN highlights or something like that, but great coverage by that young man.
Caught the top of the lid. Perhaps the only thing that kept Parker from performing a juggling act, and after 3 quick ones, Hunt is set to kick it away. Should be nice field position for Crest, but backpedaling is the return man. He's going to have to do some work now. He is out at the 39. Your first look coming. at Eli Hamrick, who is headed to the University of Virginia. He referenced he will be on grounds for the future of his football career. Highly regarded ACC prospect.
Yeah. You know, once again, video game-like numbers from this young man. Going to University of Virginia, 2,700 yards passing, 29 passing touchdowns, and 17 rushing touchdowns. This young man here is going to be something to watch.
Well, and anytime you speak UVA, you know you're speaking to his academics as well as his athletic prowess. He, too, will keep it on the ground, introduces us to some of his surrounding cast as we glance at the starting offensive lineup for Crest.
Yeah, and just want to check out, I love giving the big fellas up front a little bit of love. And number 53, Hickman, he is going to Gardner Webb. He is 6'6", 275, so he's going to be protecting his right side.
Once again, those starting lineups, as all the starting lineups this weekend, have been brought to you by Affordable Dentures and Implants. They encourage you to use your 2025 dental benefits now. Get the smile you deserve. Visit affordabledentures.com to find the practice near you. It has been an eventful start to this game. As Chris will try the first pass, and that's in and out of the hands of his intended receiver. That was Sanders. It is incomplete. And this defense trying to return the favor to the Crest D. Here's how Hunt looks on that side of the ball.
Yeah, it's a stingy defense, JP. Listen, 25 interceptions, 46 sacks. We mentioned at the top that Dickerson has 15 sacks. 30% of the sacks comes from that young man, 167 tackles for loss. They're going to have to really put some pressure on Hamrick if they want a chance in this game.
And once more, those are your Affordable Dentures and Implants starting lineups. Caught. Second effort is enough. There's the senior Edwards. He's been great in the playoffs, and here's a snapshot of it.
So many weapons Hamrick has. And here we have just a simple stop route. Dicks him off, makes one man miss, and he gets to that first down marker. He has over 1,000 yards receiving this year with 17 touchdowns. So Hamrick has plenty of targets, JP.
And that is a tip-top roofing first down. Faith Family Football Roofing. They've got it all covered. Tip-top Roofing sponsoring our first downs in this contest. And look forward to about the 47. You know, you see Edwards there a moment ago, and now you see the playmaker on the other side that you highlighted coming into things. He's going to be difficult to navigate.
Oh, yeah, he certainly is. Look at the lateral movement as he moves down the line, and he is a load, and he's just slinging Hamrick all over the field. You know that Hunt really loves to see that. Let the big fella get his hands on him. Our two players to watch right there, mixing it up a little bit.
Coach Jackson said they call him the Bull. Appropriately named, and here in the Bull City of Durham, in those colors, he seems to have found the right spot on this evening, right?
Absolutely. We're going to see how big a game this young man has. You know, he's excited, and this is the last game of a lot of these young men's careers, and it culminates right here at the state championship.
And flag down at the 47.
Number 2, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Mark Barber is our referee for game 2. Again, a tip of the cap to all of these crews selected for the 8 state championship games. They earn the right through their performance across the course of the year, their commitment and investment in high school athletics. And congratulations to Mark Barber and his crew handling this 5A title game. Hamrick running for his life, and he'll just sail this over into cheerleaders territory on the far side. Facing a third down from behind the sticks now.
Yeah, that was good pressure there from that defensive front, number 9, Nick Bynum. You know, he's got 16 tackles for loss and 7 sacks. And so they're accustomed to putting some pressure on the quarterback, and they're going to have to do that tonight with this Virginia commit and Eli Hamrick. And like I said, if they really want a chance, because for Crest is almost starting out textbook. They got 3 and out, and now they have the ball, and they're looking to drive and score. So it's important for Hunt right here to make a stop, get off the field, don't give up any points, put the ball back in the hands of their offense.
State of North Carolina, prime location for Virginia of late. Didn't go their way in the ACC championship game, but they just played in Charlotte. And they find their next quarterback down around the borderlands. Mr. Hamrick, who shows you his ability here, though this is still going to be well short of first down territory. Fourth down coming.
Yeah, and that was thrown to number 4. That's Devarius Surratt. He, too, is a ACC commit, going to North Carolina State. Just trying to throw that little bubble screen right there. Good pursuit by the defense.
Wolfpack with a handful of impact performers on the scene today. They must have heard you were going to be on the lookout here. Trying to keep you honest along the way.
That's right.
The former North Carolina Tar Heel, my partner in the booth. And this is blocked. Special teams rearing its head for the crew out of the East. And just like that, the Warriors of J.B. Hunt with a lift.
That was fantastic. And that's what it's going to take, JP. It's going to take splash plays, not just on offense and defense, but right here in the third phase of the game. That was a good block, it looks like, by number 12, the big fella there, Travarius Cooper. And we're going to take a quick timeout.
At Wells Fargo, we believe that doing can make a difference. That's why we've donated over $2 billion to strengthen local communities over the last 5 years. From over $745 million to help address housing access and affordability, to roughly $420 million to help small business owners through nonprofits, to over $55 million to support scholarships and programming for students. Because doing gets it done.
Well, it's been an active start in this 5A contest. We had a little extracurricular between the two teams prior to the game, and we already are hearing reports of a number of players who are a little shaken up in this one. So a physical start to 5A's bout. Let's check in on that for a little more. Here's Madison.
Well, guys, multiple defensive players will not be on the field with the Chargers right now. Donovan Walton getting his shoulder tended to after coming off after the opening kick, and same with Jameer Kennedy, his left leg bothering him. He is upright, walking up and down the sidelines, but those two not on the field as of now.
Boy, tough breaks and very early for that to happen. Thank you, Madison. Of course, Madison Little doing great work for you all across the 3 days of championship action here in North Carolina. Plenty of room this time. First real spaces we've seen for action on the ground, and that's about 8 yards on the carry.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. You know, looking at, just comparing, Crest scores 45 points a game. Hunt only scores 37. But you know how you kind of negate that? Right here, you're running the ball. Like we had a flag on the play, but yeah, running the ball, keeping the ball out of their hands. It looks like it's going against Hunt, so it backs him up a little bit. But that's how you do it. You control the clock with the ground game, keep the ball out of Crest's hands.
If you can avoid this, that at least was the formula. Unfortunately here, an illegal formation backs it up to 1st and 15. Goal now, the 27-yard line for a first down. Just rolling good between the team looking for its first ever title and a crew trying to bring number 7 home to its specific school. Second one today to its county, one of the premier locations in North Carolina. You think about Hunt, they've been in the state championship environment once previously in 2004, did not score. So looking to scratch something across for the first time in school history. And fighting for every inch is the dual threat QB, and he's to the 40.
Yeah, he's got a lot of experience with his hands on the football there, JB, and running the ball. And it's just a little read option there. He maybe should have given that, but hey, with 1,200 yards rushing for the year so far, this young man knows how to read that defense.
You mentioned Hunt's history. Competed for the 3A title in 2004. 27-0 was the final. Concord a winner. So tonight could be a first on multiple fronts. And here's a major step in that direction as it's another tremendous carry by Jones. You can move the chains. That's a tip-top roofing first down.
Ryan Jones said, hey, let's go, coach. I got you. riding my back, and that's just looks like a little power to the left there. He picks his hole. They outnumber you at the point of attack right there, where they down block on play side and pull those two big offensive linemen around the end and just creates a huge running hole for Jones.
At the end of this, we've got another Crest player that is being tended to, and that, Eric, is the Duke commit, Pettis, who was hoping to do some damage in this locale in the days ahead. Hopefully we'll have some good news on that front to share with you on the other side of the break.
Belief isn't just a feeling, it's a force. A force that turns underdogs into champions, struggle into strength, and concepts into companies. A Legacy and Wake Forest University are proud to partner because we share a truth that belief in people yields the highest returns. Together, we're investing in every dream, every goal, every tomorrow. This is our home. Let's believe.
Tonight's power and high end zone shots are being provided by First Source Rentals. Reliable, safe equipment rentals. First Source Rentals, rent it. Certainly taking care of business to make sure you can see the championship contests and powering the game. That's First Source Rentals. And it was, Eric, in fact, the Duke commit, Pettis, who's a Shrine Bowler, decorated on so many fronts, being helped off, and that's going to add to the little bit of attrition that Crest has already experienced that Madison walked us through a few moments ago.
Yeah, and that's tough, JB. You hate to see that happen. You know, kids work all year, all summer. They run, they work out, they lift, and they, you know, this is the pinnacle of their high school careers, being the state championship. You just really hate to see an injury like that, but he was able to walk off the field, so hopefully he'll be back.
Now, we mentioned a moment ago, as here comes a nice little run down inside the 15. That's another tremendous field vision moment for Jones.
Ryan Jones, this young man is putting his stake for player of the game. Look at that, just off tackle, he is in that burst of speed right there. I love how he is protecting the ball. Even though he had it in the wrong hand, so to speak, on the left, should have been on the right, he's still protecting that football because you know that defenses on both sides are going to be going after that football.
Jones again, and looks like the ball was being chased to the far side, but he ends up down at around the 2-yard line. You know, you see those colors in this town, and you see the Duke commit coming off just a moment ago. Can't help but piece it all together. We were talking, as you get one more look at this carry, Jones continues to push ever closer to the goal line, and there you see bodies just colliding and moving around. We were talking a moment ago about the Virginia commit on the Crest side. Duke fans would not forgive us if we don't mention they, of course, claimed the ACC this year down in Charlotte. And this crowd in those colors out of the East going to claim the first points of the contest and the first state championship points in school history. And all the work done on the ground, this time Harris to finish it off.
There's Harris, there you go, and you watch, it's just going to be a quarterback run. I mean, he just sprints to that right pylon there, no contest, no touchdown for the young fella.
There's Harris with our initial Tatum and Atkinson touchdown of the game. And again, a reminder, second state championship trip all time, first points in a state title environment for the Warriors of Hunt, and they take the early 7-0 lead. How about that push on the ground for Hunt to get the job done?
Yeah, I love it, Jake. Listen, JP, front line guy, the offensive line. I mean, when you get a quarterback, a running back that's running, and they hadn't been touched in 3, 4, 5, 6 yards, credit the big fellas up front.
Well, tip your cap to the center, James Gibson. Mr. Dickerson, Mr. Wynn, Mr. Bryant, Mr. Hall, all a part of that group, all juniors except for the sophomore Wynn and the senior Gibson, making space up front for the Warriors of J.B. Hunt, and they lead the 5A title game early. Getting set now for the Original Grills kickoff. Reminder, Original Grills, having sponsored our kickoffs throughout the state championship weekend, can elevate your grill game. That's Original Grills. Midway through the first quarter. Hunt with the initial 7. Trying to prevent Crest from grabbing title number 7. This goes into the end zone, going to come out for a touchback. What pleased you most about that last drive? You talk about the big guys up front, but what does it do psychologically for Hunt in this game?
Well, you know, let's look at even what happened before that with the block punt, right? They're dialed in, they're locked in. And when you get all 3 phases of the game rocking and rolling, special teams, we just saw a kick go, what, 5 yards deep into the end zone? Man, these kids are locked in and saying, hey, we will not be denied.
And here comes Hamrick again. And his crew now trailing it. And wrestled to the ground as the ball carrier put it in the hands of Jason Black, but he had nowhere to go.
Yeah, that's that defense. You know, and they're going to have to relentlessly pursue that football. Okay, as we look at the what is it, number 8? We look at that replay there. Number 8 for Hunt, that's James. I mean, good gracious, 95 tackles, 20 for loss, 11 sacks. This defensive front gets after the football.
And just his junior campaign for James. A lot of football left in his high school career. Closing in on 5 minutes to go first. And that was read immediately by Harris, but it was thrown well out of bounds, so no way to get to it, incomplete.
Yeah, a little miscommunication it seemed there as Hamrick is coming off the field saying, hey, you're supposed to keep going on that.
There's the Crest guy through and through. Filling up your screen, was at Kings Mountain for a while. Been in that region, he's been in that area. It's been a decade since this crew has been here. 2015, the last journey to state. And the route was there. The pass is incomplete.
Wow, that's a pretty good stand there by Hunt, JP. And I'll tell you something. In a state championship game, a couple things that you won't necessarily see, right? But your emotions, that adrenaline and everything, breathing. I mean, just to simply take a breath and settle down a little bit. Sometimes your emotions can get ahead of you in a game like this. You want to do things too fast as opposed to slowing down and doing what you do.
That's an interesting point. So many things in front of you on a night like this. The basics can be overlooked.
Yeah.
Here comes a punt from inside the 5-yard line, and the return man's at the 50. And it's going to go out and around the 43, and that is where Hunt will take over. Well, everything going according to script thus far for the group out of the Big East Conference. They went 12-2, 5-1 in conference play. An unbeaten record for his crew at home, a perfect 9-0. And they have traveled 69 miles to get here and lead it 7-0 as they go to work inside Crest territory. And that had interception written all over it, but it is through the wickets.
Yeah, missed opportunity right there for Crest. That's number 19 we have there, Javion Hopper. Just went right through his arm. Maybe he was seeing, seeing 6 or something like that, but it's the little things you got to really, really concentrate on. In a big game like this, focus on the glory.
The special teams moment currently stands as one of the difference makers.
Yeah.
Flags come in here before this play gets rolling.
Ball start. Offense, number 3. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
That'll back Hunt up near the 50.
Yep, that adrenaline. You know, just gotta, it's hard to keep it bottled in, JP. And you're on TV, and, you know, the state is watching. This is the last game of the state championships, and these young men want it very, very badly.
Deep shot. This one is intercepted. Taken away down near the goal line. And that's a guy whose name we called just a moment ago. Hopper, the second time around, is the charm.
There you go, and that's his second interception on the year, JP. It was a good-looking ball, but he just closed in right at the last minute. He looked that one in, was not going to be denied on that one.
Now, when life gives you a second chance at the same Joyce, you better jump all over it, and he did. Sets Crest up at the 5, so the takeaway not up near midfield, but it does put Crest back in the driver's seat. Sweep it near side. They're looking for some room. It's Thompson. He'll find them. And is stacked up well short of the 10.
My. Did you see the defensive pursuit on that? They were stinging and getting to the ball. I love it. It was a little pop pass, which goes down as a pass. And just look at the hats. There's 4 or 5. He's surrounded. And then his own man bumps into him. And look, there's 5, 6. There they are. Big number 99 saying, here I am, fellas.
A lot of those visiting white jerseys on the scene immediately. Hamrick under pressure. And that's right on the goal line. They're going to mark him just outside it. Very close to his safety, but it is a sack and another defensive moment.
I love defense. Did you pick that up about me, JP?
Got the feeling you're loving the way this is trending.
Look at that, the line. Look, and he's not going to be denied. Almost looked like Miles Garrett coming around the corner that he ripped. He got held a little bit, but that could not stop the big number 10, Mr. Harris.
You know, you talk about some of the early game jitters in a state championship environment on either side, how you have to work through it, whether it be the flags, whether it be the miscues. Sometimes makes all the difference. And here is an arm that can do just that. How about this? He threw that for more than 50, puts it up near the 50, and there's the first real snapshot of what Eli Hamrick provides.
That's that ACC arm. Not panicking, pretty ball, hits him in stride. That's Thompson right there. He's already got over 1,000 yards receiving. Look at that, hits him right in stride, JP.
Hamrick to Thompson, and talk about bailing Crest out of some major trouble on the shadow of its own goal line. It was nearly a safety the play before, and now they're in business at midfield. And with a little bit of momentum, Chargers rushing downhill behind Jason Black.
You mentioned it, JP. Momentum, the big Mo. Hey, man, it hops from sideline to sideline, from play to play. You never know. But I love the hustle of big number 99, Dickerson, getting there and making that play.
I was going to ask you a moment ago what it takes from a coaching standpoint to try to do away with some of those jitters and help your team settle into the environment. But perhaps we just saw the answer. A big play or two can settle you in quicker than
it certainly can, JP. And every kid is different. Each individual, you know, for me, it was that first hit. Once I got that first hit out of the way, I'm ready to go now. But it's always waiting on that first hit.
Seems like Mr. Hamrick needed that first completion of consequence. It is out of the way, and now he shows what he can do on the ground with a big pickup on first down.
Yeah, and keep in mind, at school that's about 10 minutes away from him, hung 84, so they got some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, the rivals set the bar very high earlier today. And Crest seems to suddenly have an answer. There's Jason Black again, and he takes it down to the doorstep.
Yeah, that was, looks like that was Warren on the tackle, but I believe they're going to get him for a horse collar, which back in my day you could do that, but nowadays you cannot. They've proven that causes some injury. So yeah, he got his hand inside the shoulder pads there and grabbed that jersey. So it's going to be a horse collar, I do believe, JP.
You're telling me in the late 80s and early 90s?
Personal foul. Defense, number 5. Happens to go. First down.
And then across the highway here in Chapel Hill, It was just another tool in the tool chest.
Absolutely. You better believe it. And it was a very effective way to tackle, too. But once again,
Great adjustment in terms of keeping the players safe.
That's right.
And it ends up moving Crest closer to the goal line. They get in behind Hamrick, flags before he can work it into the end zone.
Yeah. Looks like a false start. Didn't quite get set that half second
Well,
before this snap.
they needed to make sure we could tell you about the Air Experts heating and cooling red zone. This, of course, Crest's first opportunity in the Air Experts heating and cooling red zone. His offense flagged. They'll back up just a bit, but boy, have things changed for them in the last few minutes of game action.
Yeah, once again, momentum. It seems to shift. And, yeah, they just didn't get set quite. He would have been in comfortably, but you're not going to do I don't know what you call it, a tush push, whatever from here. But keep in mind, this young man can run.
So can he. They end up calling Edwards' number, and he will carry it over the left side for the Tatum and Atkinson touchdown. Michael Edwards with a touchdown run for Crest.
You know, I want to point something out here, too. Look at your quarterback. Look at Hamrick. He's leading the way. He is, now keep in mind, he didn't, give a knockdown block, but he is leading the way, which means he's saying, hey, I'm a team player. Coach, you need me to block, I'm going to block.
What is it about certain guys in the playoff environment? They'll utilize him in the Wildcat from time to time. He's listed as a wide receiver. He has been his very best, the Crest staff said, the last few weeks when the lights have been the brightest. True again for Mr. Edwards.
Yeah, big-time players make big-time plays in big-time situations. And there he was. He made one. And look at that. Look at that little fella right there. I'm telling you something. You know what he's dreaming about right now? Daddy, when I grow up, I'm going to be playing in the state championship.
And that is what it's all about.
That's right. That's exactly right. Bo, I think his name was. Had Bo on the back of there. We're gonna be calling the game, and we're gonna remember this time, JP. It may be 15 years from now, but we're gonna remember this time.
There will be a new chapter to write at that point. This chapter for Crest was 7 plays, 94 yards, and of course Edwards capping it. Remember that almost safety moment.
Yeah.
Looked as gloomy as any for Crest in the game. The very next play, a little toss to the 50, and the rest is history.
Yeah. Just what the doctor ordered. Now this is the phase of the game. Special teams. Hunt so far has won the special teams battle with the block punt and the big returns. So we'll see right now if this is going to play how big of an issue it's going to be.
I think Crest must have heard you say something about their rivals as well. They're already carrying 1 trophy back to Cleveland County. You know what that means if you got the bragging rights coming your way on that side. And Crest won the regular season meeting between those two. The question, can they make it a dual championship year to be discussed throughout the holidays? Here's the original Grills kickoff. And if you weren't with us earlier today, you're not familiar with what we're talking about. The Shelby Golden Lions, part of a 125-point explosion between the two teams. They had 80+ of those points en route to claiming the 3A championship with ease.
Yeah, 125 points. We witnessed a record in the state of North Carolina.
First half record, 97 total points. Overall game record, 125 total points, along with several other records. Look it up. It's a tremendous story that's being written by those scribes who do the good work across the state. And this looked to be promising up the middle, but there are flags that appear as if they'll bring it back.
Yeah, it looks like it is in the area of holding. And anytime you see a lineman trying to explain his case to somebody, chances are he's a guilty party.
Holding.
You've been making this point across the last several days, but when things turn, boy, do they turn.
Yes, they do.
Everything was going the Warriors' way moments ago. Now everything's suddenly trending the Chargers' direction.
Yeah, there's certain dead giveaways for holding. If you see a lineman pleading his case to the quarterback or the referee, or they put their hands up like, oh, me? I didn't hold anybody. Those are dead giveaways.
You're going to get the flag sometimes, even if it wasn't coming. And this is up across the 14-yard line, 15. As we dip inside the final minute of the opening quarter, what's going to be your reflections, your takeaways from this first 12 minutes of football thus far.
Well, I tell you, once again, it's a heavyweight fight. We saw in the game earlier today that it was body blow after body blows, points being scored at a record pace. Here we have a 7-7 game, and you can see teams just kind of filling them out, running certain plays, and they'll come back and set up for the second half. But I'm excited about what we're seeing so far, JP.
Incomplete with 15 seconds to play. To put it in perspective, this is a Hunt team that played for the 3A title in 04, and a Crest team that was last here 10 years ago when they won a 3A title against a crew from Durham, no less. Southern Durham, 55-21. Here's the call.
Offense, number 54. Killing the clock. Third down.
Of course, it's worth mentioning, the state just this year going to an 8 classification system. So this has been a little different wrinkle, the 3 days of championship games.
Certainly has been. There's been some exciting football. You know, we called the first game on the opening night, and it was a defensive battle, which I absolutely loved. And, we had a game where it was an offensive showcase, and now it seems to be extremely balanced right here. Momentum has been shifting from, sideline to sideline, and teams have been really trying to find their way. So we're in for an exciting night.
Yeah, you start with 9-8 the final. Most recently, those 125 points total. In this one, it's all even at 7. And flags come out. Another delay with 15 seconds to play in the first.
Delay again.
Fans on the near side had the distinct impression that they may have had a little something to do with that. Celebrating as if they accomplished it themselves.
Indeed, it may be a time for Hunt just to settle down, do what they do. There's not a whole lot of 3rd and 23 plays in the playbook, so just get what you can, play field position. Or do that.
Final seconds roll off the first quarter game clock. An even contest at 7 apiece in the 5A championship battle. Much more to come from our broadcasts, which is brought your way by Affordable Dentures and Implants. Right after this.
Robert, go for more.
Hey! Hurt in a car wreck? Don't go up against the insurance company alone. Let the heavy hitters do it for you. Call 800-LAW-0804, and we'll go after all the money they should be paying you. Stay out of the courtroom and get into the end zone.
Call the heavy hitters, who are attorneys Tatum and Atkinson.
Call the heavy hitters, they'll work to get you more. 1-800-LAW-0804.
Have you been quoted for trench drain system to fix water intrusion? Before you compromise your foundation, talk to Foundation Solutions. We provide a more efficient, more cost-effective way to keep your basement dry. With 30 years of experience in Western North Carolina, we bring guaranteed work, financing options, and real peace of mind. Visit foundationswnc.com or call 828-768-2208.
Football State Championship merchandise.
Welcome back to the 5A state championship broadcast in the Old North State. Here's a look at the numbers from the first quarter. 114 to 51, the Crest advantage in overall yardage, but that special teams play changed things.
Yep. He who wins the turnover battle.
Speaking of, this one just away. Of course, you had the Crest interception deep in their own territory that eventually led to a march of the length of the field.
Right.
And the only Crest TD.
Yep, yep. And you know, JP, something I don't think we were talking about, but we can hear the fans in the stands. And it kind of gives you a high school home field advantage feel. And what I absolutely love about it is you see fans here in the crowd, they have their old letter jackets on, right? And the football patch on, and they're walking through and they're reliving these days when they were playing. And I just love that this whole community can support these teams. And it's just fantastic to hear, fantastic to see.
Yeah, the Crest Cowbells are the music of the night right now, just below our broadcast position. And they'll be ringing a little further after this catch just across the 50. Chargers go right back to Thompson with the catch.
Yep, looks like he picked up about 6 yards. Very event-filled 6 yards.
You make a great point. We were talking about it in the first game earlier, but the change of venue for all the differences that come with it, and thanks to all the folks who've hosted us here in Durham for sure. Size-wise, it has allowed these two fan bases to fill up their respective stands.
Yeah, and feel really intimate and close. The quarterback keeper there.
Hamrick. And he knew where the marker was. Did he work his way past it? Let's see where they spot this. They spot this at the 46, which leaves him about a yard shy with third down coming.
About a yard shy. We don't talk about it a whole lot, but right at the end there, you see one of the refs holding the pole there. He took a shot from a defender that was falling, so he popped up quick, and so we're thankful for that.
Trying to get out of Hamrick's way, and they caught him on the other side.
He's tough. He's tougher than he looked. There he is, folks.
Showed his mettle. Here's just what was needed. That'll push it across the marker for a Tatum and Atkinson first down. Of course, Tatum and Atkinson, the heavy hitters, you've been hearing about them all weekend long. And they're sponsoring our first downs in the second and fourth quarters.
That was a gritty yard. That was a gritty yard that Hamrick got.
Showed they can get one.
That's right.
Tuck that away in the back of your mind for later on. Slings a little sidearm pass out this direction.
You see how easy that looked for him? Well, of course, UVA saw that, so that's why they offered the young man. But he was almost standing flat-footed when he done it. Just one step turn, boop, almost the same colors of the Packers, like a Brett Favre sort of sidearm gunslinger.
It's a tremendous comparison. He hits Thompson near the sideline for about, let's call it 4. They'll call it a good 3 in 2nd and 7. Speaking of 3, Jason Black has it in his hands now, but he's wrestled to the turf at the 40.
Yeah, and you heard the crowd maybe yelling for like a horse collar, but it wasn't a horse collar. He grabbed the jersey, and the jersey really stretched. You can see it here. Look at big number 99 back there. But see, he started on his shoulder, and then it just kind of went around. So, but you can understand that the crowd from Crest is yelling for a horse collar, but that wasn't a horse collar.
Well, it's a state championship game on both sides. They're hanging on every movement.
Exactly right.
Had to go to the turf to get it. And by the time Melton secured the catch, he was already down. That's Brock Melton, a wide receiver, a couple of years on varsity for Crest.
Yeah, and you'll watch here, you see Hamrick kind of patting his chest like, yeah, I should have thrown you a better ball than that. UVA is expecting me to throw a better ball than that. And he knew it. He was patting his chest, and that's my bad.
Brings up 4th down.
Oh, they got him.
Able to draw him off. Now, it's 4th down and closer to 6. So this will only translate into 4th and 1.
Yeah.
Defense. 5-yard penalty.
And you can see the coaches on the sideline just like, don't jump, don't jump. But once again, those emotions and that adrenaline saying, I'm going to be the one to make this play, knowing that they were just hard counting and they got it to work. And once again, it's 4th and short, 1 yard. Maybe we know what's coming here, JP, with their version of the tush play.
You don't have to go far into the memory bank to understand what can be. Instead, they go with a Wildcat. We told you they'd put 2 in the Wildcat from time to time. And here he is taking it home. We'll ask again, what is it about certain individuals when the bright lights are on? Michael Edwards going to carry it all the way home. Needed 1 on 4th down. Ended up with the whole kit and caboodle.
There's a lot of things at play. Look who's leading the charge. Once again, quarterback Hamrick, and there he is. He's right behind him. This is what I love. He gets an escort for about 7 yards. He said, come here, son. Let me show you where we're going. And he took him to the promised land.
Boy, what a job. Just an impressive effort all the way around from Edwards. And you always like to give plenty of credit to the guys who make the space. It was just as critical there. Extra point true. Last 14 have been scored by the Crest Chargers. Trying on this day to make it 2 titles. Headed back to Cleveland County.
Life can be tough. The daily grind, the pressures, the uncertainties, it all adds up. Let's be open and honest about our mental health. Let's support each other when we're hurting, because it's okay not to be okay.
Tonight's high-end zone views of the game are compliments of First Source Equipment Rentals and Sales in Mebane and Burlington. First Source Rentals, reliable, safe equipment rentals in Alamance County.
And that was our original Grills kickoff. Started with Hunt's first state championship points in school history, with the 2 most recent scores belonging to the Chargers of Crest, and now the dual threat quarterback, Mez Harris, goes back to work.
Yeah, he's going to have to settle his crew down, get those big fellas up front, making sure they sustain their blocks. If it's a pass, give them some time. And receivers run their routes properly. No time, not nearly any time to panic right now. Only down 1 score, but they've got to get something going right now, JP.
Starting from the 20. Both offensive groups up front with plenty to build on in the early going and make good room for Jones here.
Yeah, a lot of big fellas doing the work in the trenches. And, whoever wins the line of scrimmage, wins the turnover battle, they're going to have a really good chance to win this game.
Stay right there with the line of scrimmage, and adding to that conversation, here's Madison.
Well, guys, Coach Jackson told me that group deserves a lot more praise than they're getting. That group only had 2 returners come back this season. They're young. They started inexperienced, but they worked hard at their craft and their bond, gelled throughout the season, and it all started with the center, James Gibson, the senior and captain for this football team, guys.
So unheralded, those who do that great work up front. So critical to where the game is still won or lost after all these years.
You better believe it. And the offensive line has a soft spot in my heart, JP, even though I'm a defensive guy.
All right.
Because for 3 years I played the offensive line. I played center in high school, and I know, man, just with an effective downhill smash mouth offensive front, you can control the tempo of a football game.
All right, here's a question for you. How much did having been on the offensive line help you with your defensive mentality to attack what the offense?
Oh, JP, man, you asked $1 million question right there. So, being that I played offensive line, I know the mentality, what they're setting up and what they're looking for. So I can now use that against them, right? So if it's a pass, you know, I may dip, rip, spin, you know, whatever the case is, flow goes away. It's just so many nuances that happen in that yard or two on that offensive front that makes the difference in the game.
And this game about any little edge. They don't call it a game of inches for no reason. As Harris slides down as he gets just back across the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, had some time. Just, you know, ran out of the pocket right there. Didn't have anything down the field. You know, he didn't try and do anything too fancy. Didn't try and get too many extra yards and take an extra hit. He just got down and lived to fight another day. Looks like they lost a yard or two. It's going to be 3rd and 10.
Well, a reminder, we will have our player of the game brought to you by Affordable Dentures and Implants. Use your 2025 benefits now and get the smile you deserve. AffordableDentures.com will guide you to the practice near you. They try to guide the ball carrier to the right side. He's good for a handful, but it's going to be 4th and about 5.
Yeah, and you know, one of the keys. Look at this guy. Look at Gunter there, number 42. You talk about throwback, old school. This fella's got a neck roll. I absolutely love it. He's going to stick his head in there, and he cannot wait for the contact. I bet this young man lives for contact, JP. Look at that.
From another era altogether.
That's right. I love it. That's a throwback right there, man. You take a fella like that anytime. Your middle linebacker just wanting contact.
Heart and soul of the D. Well, it's caught. And moving with it, Thompson up across the 35. So it'll be Crest football with just under 6 to play in the half when you return to Durham. Well, just under 6 minutes away from the Foundation Solutions halftime report. You'll hear from Q Tucker, the commissioner of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. Also, stats, highlights, a whole lot more coming your way as part of the Foundation Solutions halftime report. What's going to stick with you at halftime, at least right now?
Yeah, it's, you know, Crest is seemingly imposing their will. I mean, look at that. I mean, he's 5 yards down the field before he's getting touched. And so those big fellas up front, the line, they are starting to lean on that Hunt defensive front.
Jason Black, new to varsity this time around.
Yeah, look at these holes, man. That's just power. He still hadn't been touched. Look at it. He's touched 5 yards down the field. That's a winning formula right there. Brings up 2nd down and short. 2nd and about, what, 1.5, 2 yards or 1 yard? Yeah, that's winning football right there.
This veteran team, as they were self-described, with so many returning starters. Hamrick, the unquestioned leader, carries this for a 1st down into Hunt territory.
Yeah, there you go. Just a little outside, you know, cue keeper, and he's not getting touched. I mean, they're seeing something up top, you know, the offensive coordinator. Look at it. I mean, they just sealed that side off. That's a great block by number 9, the tight end there, Romeo Sanders. That was a great block to seal that edge. 6'5", 220.
Results in a Tatum and Atkinson first down. Sets the backup to go the opposite direction, and he'll pick up a couple to the 40.
Yeah, good pursuit by that defense. And once again, man, it's just filling the gap. That's number 9 there. That's Bynum, Nicholas Bynum, filling the gap. Yeah, just full power. He bounced it outside, and they're waiting on it. Got to have that relentless pursuit of the football in order to stop this drive from the Chargers.
And Malachi Gamble, the running back, getting some action there. He takes us inside 5 minutes to play. Opening half in the 5A contest. That's Thompson again. And you can move the chains one more time. A Tatum and Atkinson first down.
Woo, that fella is quick, and he's just a junior. Good ball. He makes the first man miss. Whoop, gave him a little stiff arm. Got another 5 yards. Good run by the young fella.
And Eli Hamrick suddenly settling in as a distributor here.
Yeah, that's what he does. He distributes, facilitates success to his receivers and backs.
Gamble again. And he is met immediately.
Yeah, that's the defense. That defensive end right there. Is that James?
Yep. We keep calling Randy James' name, and with good reason.
Yeah, he's pursuing that football, and he arrives with bad intentions. Look at him. That sets the tone right there. He slings him around.
Wasn't alone. Judah Harris also had a hand in it.
Randy James, he is a junior. You can expect some good things out of this young fella here. 6'1", 220.
Here's Black again. And that appears enough for a Tatum and Atkinson first down. Move them again.
Yeah, they're leaning on him now, JP. Look, they're just running power. So what they're doing is they're blocking down at the on the play side, and they're pulling one or bringing a wing back through or a back or a tight end, and they're outnumbering them at the point of contact. And so there's just not enough defenders there to stop it.
Well, knocking on the door of the red zone. This Crest team going to be paused momentarily while Hunt burns a timeout to talk over this current drive. Well, we will have our Legacy Federal Credit Union play of the game. Prior to the end of tonight's contest, Legacy and Wake Forest, we believe, sponsors of our play of the game. Have we seen it yet? Who knows? In a 14-7 contest, late second. I got to ask you, what have been your impressions of these two teams as they jockey for the title here in the 5A ranks?
Yeah, so far so good. You know, impressed right now by Crest as they're driving the football down the field. That was a really good timeout by Coach Jackson. He's like, ho, wait a minute. No, you can't take the timeouts with you, man. Let's take a timeout. Let's pause to see if we can give our guys a breather, get them some water or something, talk to them, tell them stay gap controlled, read their keys, and attack the football.
First down play, Hamrick forced out at the 12. Hamrick not shy about keeping the football.
No, he's not shy of contact either. He's seeking it out. He's like, man, get out of here. You know, tried a little stiff arm, still running. I will tell you this, he's carrying that ball a little bit looser. You may look for Hunt to attack that football, but, you know, good call, good toughness. This young man is not afraid of contact. He's coming downhill right at you.
Got plenty of blocking help this time as they snap it directly to Edwards, who we saw on a touchdown run earlier, but this time he's met with flags.
Hold it. Offense, 58. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
And that, too, will slow Crest momentarily.
And once again, who's leading? Who's the lead blocker right there? The quarterback. You know, but yeah, it held him right there on the edge. still made the play, still got through there. Good pursuit of the football. And, you know, once again, Hunt has got to make a stop here. You know, a victory is if they hold them to a field goal or even get a turnover. You never know, but they have to keep them out here just before half.
Crest team playing its best football when it has mattered most down the stretch. Looking to build on a lead. And Jason Black right into the teeth of that D, down to the 6-yard line.
You know, that was an impressive run by Black there. He has about 455 yards rushing, but watch how he puts his foot in the ground right here. Boom, he plants, he makes that cut, and he gets downhill fast.
And he is a quick back.
Yeah. This is calling fellas a scat back.
Well, still trying to lunge toward the goal line is Edwards. Trying to make something out of this Air Experts Heating and Cooling red zone opportunity. Crest now faces second down and goal. All just outside the 1-yard line.
Yeah, I can guess what this play might be here, JP. Yeah, they're getting under center doing their version of the tush push.
Trying to help Eli Hamrick cross the plane, and he will. Tatum and Atkinson, touchdown on the QB keeper.
Yep, there you go. Hey, he's a big kid. I mean, he's listed at 6'5", 223. And, you know, he's got a big arm. We've seen that. And we see the toughness of this young man. He gets under center. He puts his head down right off that right side. Touchdown. And we see what UVA sees in this young man. We're getting a glimpse of it. We'll be seeing him play on Saturday.
Yeah, no doubt while he's headed to grounds. And UVA, one of the emerging programs in the ACC, so high on the Crest QB. Carson Greer on for the extra point. You know, unusually talented high school kicker, very talented. Keep that in mind should it matter in the latter stages. Here he's working the extra point to make it 21-7 with 2 and change to play in the half. You could see the strength of his leg right there, but flags were down first.
Coach, defense, number 14.
Does that change things for you?
I think it does. I see the offense coming back out. Hamrick is running back out there because you're only looking at about a yard now.
Seems, if I remember Shelby doing this a little bit earlier, to make it 22-7.
Bingo.
Don't look now.
I wonder what they're going to run right now.
And that was much earlier in the half.
Yeah.
But 22-7 could be on the horizon. Crest lining up for the 2-point try. It worked for the touchdown.
There's Hamrick there trying to tell them what we're going to do. Hey, watch out, we're going right. Who knows what they're saying right now, right? I like to play those little games with me. Like, hey, man, watch out, I got your back. We're going to do a little dip-de-doo, whatever that may be. But, yeah, I love his leadership out there and his presence on the team.
This time they're waiting to snap from out around the 6. It was going to be Edwards.
Now, it looked like Hamrick was running a little flat.
False start. Offense, number 9. 5-yard penalty.
Field goal.
Well, how about that other unit again?
Right. Let's just switch it right back up. But it looked like on that play that Hamrick was running a little shallow there, maybe in a, you know, halfback pass or something.
Did they show a little something we may see again later on?
Yeah, watch how shallow he ran. See how flat that is right there? It looked like he was running to that pylon. Yeah, we'll see. You never know.
Back on the foot of the talented kicker. And he's just as true the second time around. 2-score lead for the Crest Chargers in the latter stages of the first half. Well, we were singing the praises of Eli Hamrick on that drive. For a little more on the Virginia commit, let's check in with Madison.
Well, guys, he ended up at Crest kind of by chance. He started his high school career at IMG Academy in Florida, where he spent 2 seasons, and then last season moved back home to Asheville, started the season at AC Reynolds, but was forced to transfer midway through the season when Hurricane Helene wiped out his family's home. His dad was the Crest quarterback back in 1994, and his grandmother still lived locally, so he made the choice to attend Crest High School 5 games into last season, guys.
A reminder, E, and great work, Madison, that there's so much more going on than football often. So much more going on than meets the eyes. This young man handling that and this drive exceptionally well.
Yeah, in Western North Carolina, you know, I still live there in Western North Carolina, and Hurricane Helene turned a lot of folks' lives upside down. So, yeah, kudos to that young man, still finding joy in football.
Well, and that part of the state still digging, still recovering, and our hearts remain with you as you continue to battle back. Many of those scars will last a lifetime, but they have shown what it means to be resilient and rebuild. And they're a portion of the state, as all portions of this state are from time to time, to certainly be proud of. Now, this may be not going to fall into that let's be proud of it category, but Eric, it's mindful of what we saw pregame. Had some moments pregame where there was a little bit extra between these two.
Yeah, it was, and there was actually a flag before kickoff, and so, you know, it's just the emotions of everything, just the talk and the chatter. And we have a look here at the pregame, I'll call it a mix-up, right? But where Crest is kind of going at them and flexing a little bit and letting them know that they are here.
Now, the guys in stripes had to intervene, and you'll see at the very end of this, there's a flag that comes out to serve as a major warning to everyone that they fully intended for things to be handled with class and sportsmanship on this evening. So far, so good to that end, but that's the first time we've seen something bubble over a little bit.
Yeah, and it's emotions, and they're teenagers, teenage boys, and the emotions sometimes get the best of them.
1:58 on the first half game clock.
You know, something that kind of goes unnoticed. I just saw that secondary for Crest kind of signaling from one side to the next. Not sure what the signal was, but communication is always key.
Just a little too tall and incomplete. All kind of time here. 1:57 to play. Still about a minute 57 until we get to the Foundation Solutions halftime report. You'll hear from Q Tucker, commissioner of the association, as well as stats and highlights, all that coming your way. That's the Foundation Solutions halftime report. Well, this can always be a game changer, and he is still on the move. Mez Harris, the distance.
And the good thing, JP, is I'm looking at the field, no dirty laundry. So that was a huge, huge run from Mez.
Say it again.
No dirty laundry.
Still plenty of time.
Still plenty. There you go. We've seen this this movie before, JP. These offenses can score at will, it seems.
Well, not that there's not going to be further opportunities at 1:42 to play in the half, but this bookends the half really nicely for the Warriors.
It certainly does. Look at, he's just running like he's on a stroll, man. Not straining, just nice long strides. Great job from Mez Harris. Puts his team on the board.
If you did not know better, it may have appeared remote controlled to you as he was working his way downfield. Mez Harris, with one of the premier moments of the entire state championship weekend, pulls his team back within 7.
And there's that old fella, missed the momentum, shifted to the other sideline.
They had the first touchdown of the night and the most recent to make it 21-14.
Yeah, so if I'm Coach Jackson, I'm not panicking. He says believing in each other, hard work, determination, and maturity of the young men has gotten them to this point.
Well, and look at this staff and everybody on it and the way they encourage these young men. That's the one thing he talked about. Every time he was asked this week, detailed the individual members of his staff, how tremendous they were, called them all by name, talked about how they've played on all levels, they've seen all levels, just continued to list them and their impact. When he was asked who he leaned on, His wife, obviously, first, his high school coach, his teammates, and this tremendous staff he coaches with every Friday night, and in this case, on a Saturday night in the state championship environment.
Yeah, these coaches, you know, across the state in every sport, they're more than just coaches. They're role models, they're father figures, they're mother figures, you know, for female coaches. They're, you know, part-time psychologists, therapists, you name it. And they put a lot of time into these young men's lives.
Yeah, big thank you to all our coaches, administrators, everybody making it possible all across the state. That original Grills kickoff going to be met with flags following the return by Thompson.
Yeah, there were 3 flags. It's like the refs, all 3 refs saw it at the same time.
Everybody
Decided they were going to make
involved.
the call.
Getting ready to hear from Mark Barber.
Return team. Yard penalty. First down.
Journey just became a little further by distance after the holding call.
Yeah, and, you know, I love that he was a little out of breath because he's putting the work in as well, JP. Running and making sure, look, here come all the flags at the same time. So they all saw it. You know, just made the call. They're going to line up and see what they can do before the half.
Hamrick. Just going to work it across the 10 to around the 15-yard line. 85 seconds remaining in the opening half. What has been an entertaining Class 5A championship game. Well, who's to say, but it's trending toward the very first contest of the weekend and the final contest of the weekend, providing the drama in 2025.
There you go. First contest was a defensive struggle. Second contest was a aerial assault, you know, from an offensive standpoint. And here we have, it seems to be a balanced attack on both sides of the ball from both teams.
Had a little bit of everything across these 8 games this weekend at the 3 locations. None better than what the Class A ranks gave us with the field goal as time expired. First field goal of the season for a Wilson Prep squad. By the way, there are 2 schools from the general area from which J.B. Hunt comes, also represented highly in this state championship weekend. Back into Edwards' grasp. Yeah, that may be one of the more remarkable things we've seen in a state championship environment in recent years. A team that didn't even kick extra points this season and had not attempted a field goal at any point, kicking one after 2 delay penalties with no time left, in essence, to claim a state championship 9-8. That's how it all got started this weekend in North Carolina. And here come flags again as the clock rolls at 15 seconds remaining following the carry of Jason Black.
Yeah, once again, it looks like it's in the area of holding. Not too sure, but usually when it's in that area, they're going to back it up.
Penalty numbers suddenly climbing here in the late second quarter.
And once again, I'm wrong. They're going the other way.
And he's chasing down one of his comrades. Mark Barber said, tell me again now, or actually going over now to talk it over with the Crest coaching staff. And here's our indication.
Personal foul. Face mask for 10 and 10. 15-yard penalty. First down. Timeout. Crest. Their first down.
Crest now up closer to midfield. Has 14 seconds to take for a spin, and they'll stop the clock to talk it over.
Yeah, with a big arm like Hamrick, maybe take a shot. You never know, JP. They have a fresh set of downs. They still have, 2 timeouts in their pocket, so you never know.
Had nearly a 50-yard toss that ignited that opening scoring drive for Crest.
Yeah, we know he's got the distance in that arm, so we'll see what Coach Lloyd can draw up for the Chargers right here.
There is the Virginia commits numbers to this point. Showed you earlier in the game what he has done across the course of the season. Madison giving you a nice window into the backstory that led him back to a family location there in Cleveland County, North Carolina.
Yeah, and that's a great story. You know, Helene just displaced so many folks, and the fact that he can still enjoy the game that he loves, and he's going to be, you know, continuing this on at the University of Virginia. It just, you know, it makes your heart, yeah, it does your heart good, man, to know that there's still opportunities, still chances for these young men.
Still got an opportunity here in the first half. 16 seconds to work with. Just what you suspected. And just as they draw it up. How about that? You saw the arm of Hamrick on display, and he connects with his intended target. What a job bringing that in by Surratt. You know, he's a guy we talk about on the defensive side of the ball most regularly, but he has an offensive moment here.
Yeah, and you know what? As they continue to grow and progress in their careers, Surratt is going to be trying to pick off his teammate from the University or North Carolina State University, and he's going to be at Virginia. So he's going to be in the other end going against his old teammate.
Yeah, before then, Shrine Bowl selection as well. So a lot of great moments coming up for that young man, and he has put his team on the verge of potentially extending the lead here. Clock stopped with 8 to play.
I love it. Surratt comes out. He's like, yeah, all I do is catch bombs. That's all I do. Comes back to the sideline, smiling, high-fiving. I love it. Look at that. Just the joy on his face. Just the joy in all these young men's hearts. And you know, not to be outdone by little Bo that's running up and down the sideline.
Time of his life.
I love it, man. I love it. And that's how champions are made right there. He's going to remember this day for the rest of his life.
All right. They have 8 seconds to take for a spin. That's how long they put you on a bull, right? We're in Durham.
That's what they say.
Bull City, the Durham Bulls of Durham fame. Here's the 8-second ride for Crest. To the corner, incomplete. Half that time gone, 4 left to work with.
Looks like they're going for the field goal. Put some more points on the board just before half.
This will make it a 10-point contest at the intermission. We shared with you earlier, Carson Greer, an outstanding kicker. And they will spot this for him at the 17-yard line. We were talking about that field goal that won the state championship game earlier.
Yeah.
This weekend. You remember the distance? 27 yards. What's the distance here?
Well, my.
27 yards. And this one, just as true.
It wasn't this, that one was prettier.
Well, here's a guy who does it really well. That'll bring the half to a close with Crest surging from an early deficit to carry a 10-point lead into the break.
Awesome. Congrats. Here we go. One more half to go, JP.
Well, going to be interested to see what head coach of the Chargers, Coach Greg Lloyd, has to say about the way his team reacted and responded. He's now standing by with Madison.
Well, Coach, it seemed like all 3 phases of your game really settled in. How do you feel like they're handling the pressure of this state championship game?
Well, Hunt's playing well, and I thought our kids are playing well. It's a great ball game, and we made some plays right there. That was a big field goal for us, but it's definitely a 4-quarter game tonight. We're going to play in the second half.
And what do you say to your team right now to go in that second half and close it out?
Well, we're going to play good. I mean, Hunt's a very good team. This is not easy by any means, but I like the way we're playing. We're competing hard, and it's a great ball game.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Hometown heart for him, and a 10-point lead at the break. You'll want to stick around. We got the Foundation Solutions halftime report coming your way. A physical 5A title clash as Crest tries to make it a banner day for Cleveland County. They lead it halfway home.
This high school gym used to be packed most nights. Not anymore. Do you know why? Because bad behavior by fans, especially adults, has caused a shortage of game officials across the country. You see, without officials, we can't have sports. Don't let this become reality. It's time for a change. Let's bench bad behavior for good.
You're watching the Foundation Solutions Halftime Report. Foundation Solutions. It won't cost you to get a quote from us, but it could cost you thousands if you don't. Call today or visit foundationswnc.com.
Hey everybody, thank y'all for tuning in to this state championship high school football game. Joining us today is our good friend all the way from Ingalls Markets, Miss Taylor Newhouse. Taylor, are you loving the game so far?
Absolutely, it's been a fun one to watch.
It has been a fun one to watch. Now, what are you anticipating? An explosive finish, I hope?
We always hope for an explosive finish, but definitely an interesting game.
All right, we got to talk at the end of the game then.
Absolutely.
Now, let's talk about high school athletics in general, because from what I understand, Ingalls Markets, y'all have had a long-standing and robust partnership, not just with our organization, but the entire community as a whole. Let's talk about the dynamics of that partnership.
Absolutely. We kind of gravitate towards athletics because we feel like it's a great way to reach our communities. But we're with these kids all the way from that first day of elementary school all the way through college. So we're really following them. But athletics is a good way to bring it all together because everyone loves a Friday night football game.
They do indeed, including you and I. That's
Absolutely.
Right. So it sounds like you guys really do bridge that link between academics and athletics. Am I correct to assume that?
Yes, definitely. We're there to support children through their entire educational experience.
Speaking of supporting children, y'all have people who come into y'all stores and end up working for y'all, people who you go to church with. I mean, this really is a tight-knit community. Is that right?
Absolutely. Ingalls is a beacon in all of our communities. And we love to get people in and out of the store, especially these kids that are working at our stores, our athletes and students in the schools that we support as well.
That's indeed right. Well, Haley, you know what time it is. It's time to get back to some football.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. We'll see you guys next time on Friday Night Rivals.
So, you gonna play this week?
You're gonna play this week?
You 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 gonna play this week? You gonna play this week?
You gonna play this week?
You gonna play this week? This week?
And welcome to the Ingalls Game of the Week as the Warhorses square off against the rival.
He's going in.
He's going in. Go, baby!
Ingalls, we're with you every step of the way.
You're watching the Foundation Solutions Halftime Report. Foundation Solutions. It won't cost you to get a quote from us, but it could cost you thousands if you don't. Call today or visit foundationswnc.com.
Commissioner Tucker, thank you for your time. Another exciting week with the state championships here.
It is almost unbelievable that here we are getting ready to crown champions in football when it just seems like we just started the season.
This year began the 8 classification system. Why the change? How has it been working? And do you foresee any adjustments for next year?
Well, this is the last of a fall championships where we will crown 8 champions based on the new 8 classification system that our board approved. So far, so good. And for this weekend coming, we have 3 outstanding venues.
There are plenty of familiar names in this year's championship. What do you think makes these programs successful year in and year out?
Well, I think first and foremost, those coaches recognize that what we do is called education-based athletics. And it's about providing teachable moments. It's about teaching young people the core values of sportsmanship, integrity, and honesty. And I believe that those coaches understand how to navigate that kind of balance.
And what do you think has been the biggest challenge for the association this year?
Well, I think always a big challenge for us is trying to help everybody understand the role of sportsmanship in what we do. It's been an ongoing theme of trying to keep that front and center of what we do. And of course, as I mentioned, we do have the 8 classifications in this alignment period. And so just trying to secure those venues has been a challenge.
And can you discuss those new venues and kind of some of the highlights of the new opportunities for these athletes to play in?
Well, of course, the mainstay is UNC and Keenan Stadium. They've been a site for us for many, many years. The association grew out of the University of North Carolina, and that's one of the reasons that our office is based in Chapel Hill, and one of the reasons that we continue to hold our football championships here. So they're still on the docket. And then, of course, NC State had some conflicts that we could not work around. So we reached out to some other venues, and Lenore Ryan University said, hey, let's talk. And so their Moretz Stadium has been made available to us. We're excited about being in that part of the state. And Durham County Stadium also stepped to the plate and said, let's talk, let's see what we can do. And so we look forward to that.
And education-based athletics is a policy that's very important to you. How do we keep the balance in today's ever-changing sports climate?
It is about learning how to be a young person, how to grow into that young adult. And if we've done our job, we have those young people poised and ready to be able to go on and make a difference.
Commissioner Tucker, thank you for your time as always, and enjoy championship weekend.
Thank you so much.
The North Carolina High School Athletic Association welcomes you to tonight's game.
We are excited to celebrate the hashtag NCHSAA Game Locked In, which honors everything that makes high school sports special.
Let's continue to create a positive, welcoming environment for everyone. Cheer loudly, support your team, show respect to officials, opponents, and each other.
Let's make tonight's game one to remember, full of pride, positivity, and what it means to be truly locked in.
10 points of separation in the final state championship game of the Old North State this weekend. Happy to have you with us. Our broadcast returns your way, presented by Affordable Dentures and Implants. And we glance back at this first half of action. You're going to notice a great start for Hunt. They closed strong as well, their last offensive possession at least. But Crest did enough to surge from behind and carry the advantage to the break.
Yeah, here we have right here, excuse me. We have number 2, Mez Harris. He's got both their touchdowns. You know, he's a dynamic runner for sure. And we have Crest here, led by the quarterback, Hamrick, getting into the end zone there. And once again, we have Hamrick leading the way. I love this effort right here by the young man Edwards as he is escorted into the end zone by Mez Harris on the other side of the ball. And just their version of the tush push right there for Crest.
Yeah, close proximity. Hamrick can be just as good, but you know, here's a guy who showed what his MO is. This is vintage Mez Harris.
Yeah, like he's just jogging, man, just effortlessly. Look how he's separating himself down the field. And that was an 80-yard run right there. You know, and for the score.
I think Reggie, who takes good care of us always at these state championship games, said he walked the dog at the end, just looked leisurely as he was finishing things up. Here was a field goal for Crest. Career really solid in that department. You wonder if it factors in later on. What stands out in the numbers, perhaps what's not there?
Yeah, what's not there is that big 0, the goose egg right there for passing for Hunt. You know, they have to run a balanced attack. You know, we see here that Mez Harris, he has 1,400 yards passing, 1,200 yards rushing. Got to get something on the board for those passing. Got to keep those DBs, all those, you know, ACC and D1 commits, got to keep them honest.
Well, the final halftime adjustments being made as we speak. It has been a tremendous season of Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals all across the country. Our crew based in Nashville, Steve Mann, Lee Scott, do such a great job. Everybody there at the headquarters making sure everything flows properly around the country. Usually leads to moments like this. Here are some highlights from Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals.
Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals highlights from across the country.
Raw, nice cut move and a hurdle. He's still on his feet. Are you kidding me? Caleb Ron, touchdown. Oh my goodness, what did he just do?
He will roll right under pressure, still on his feet, trying to find somebody downfield. He's in trouble. He'll throw it to the back of the end zone. A receiver's wide open. Touchdown, McQueen.
Michael Henry got his field goal blocked, caught it, and said, look what I found. Touchdown. In one of the most bizarre football plays you will ever see.
Pressure, throws it downfield to the middle of the field. What a catch, coming up and grabbing the ball.
Oh my goodness. I had no idea it was one-handed that he grabbed that thing and hauled it in.
Another rush, they're going to throw the screen and it's intercepted. How about the big fella, Akeem Davis? Davis staying on his feet. Look at him go. Davis.
It's like a scrum.
They can't bring him down. Akeem Davis is still moving. At the 30, at the 25, he snuck out of there. Are you kidding me, Akeem Davis? He is in for the touchdown.
55-yard field goal from the left hash. The kick is up, and it is. It's good at the buzzer. Bryant is the hero for the Buccaneers.
Tonight's high-end zone views of the game are compliments of Cook Rentals. Now in 5 locations across North Carolina. Cook Rentals, renting the smart way to get things done.
Storms can come up fast, and your roof is your home's first line of defense. Tip Top Roofing is fully licensed, insured, and trusted by homeowners, HOAs, and real estate professionals. From the smallest repairs to the largest residential replacements, we handle it all, including gutters and siding. As a CertainTeed Select Shingle Master, we offer up to 25 years of workmanship coverage and a lifetime materials warranty. Ask about our senior and veteran discounts and schedule your free inspection today at tiptoproofing.net.
Tonight's high-end zone views of the game are compliments of First Source Equipment Rentals and Sales in Mebane and Burlington. First Source Rentals, reliable, safe equipment rentals in Alamance County.
third quarter kickoff right around the corner. Madison has caught up with Hunt. Head coach Jackson.
Well, Coach, we saw some good signs from your offense late in that first half. How do you keep that side of the ball rolling?
Keep the sticks moving, keep the chains moving, and don't have any penalties. We put ourselves behind the chains a couple of times with holding penalties and it hurt us. We had the momentum going, and those penalties cost us.
It seems like Crest really was able to settle in defensively. How do you get a stop on this first drive?
Be consistent. Keep them out.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
Back to you guys.
Thanks to both our coaches for taking time to visit with us. Thanks, Madison Little, for such great work. I know you've enjoyed her efforts on your behalf. Braving all the elements and making sure you had the inside peek at what's going on in North Carolina State Championship football on this busy weekend in December. Eric, 2 quarters, 1 half of North Carolina high school football left in 2025.
It's amazing, Jason. We started this thing out on Thursday night with a defensive struggle where 17 points were scored in the entire game. Then we had a game earlier where 125 points were scored in the entire game. And now we have a battle right here. You know, it's just what? 1 score?
10 points.
Yeah, 10 point, 2 scores, and you never know where it's going to go. Hunt needs to come out, and they need to get a 3 and out. They need to stop. They need to come away with 0 points scored by Crest, get the football, and go down the field and get some points and cut this game.
This weekend, a reminder, there are a lot of different ways to get the job done, but you go all the way back. This started in the summer for these teams. It actually started when they were children.
Yeah.
Like Bo down there, who've been watching across the course of this one tonight, dreaming of being in a state championship moment like this. And for 16 teams this weekend, it became reality. Happy you've chosen to join us. Time for our Original Grills second half kickoff. And we're underway in the third quarter. As it's going to be brought out after it's blown to a halt. 24-14 where we start. What are the adjustments you're watching for in this half?
Well, I think if you are Hunt, you're going to have to get a stop right here. You know, you're going to have to get a little bit more pressure on the quarterback. And I got to tell you, if he's leading, you know, a run, he's a lead blocker, you got to put a helmet on him. You got to make sure that they stop doing that. And for Hunt, you know, you got to establish the passing game right now. 0 yards in the first half passing, that's got to change.
Toss to get things started. And they go right back to a guy who's a big part of things in that first half.
He certainly was. And, you know, for Hunt, they're just going to have to rally to the football. You know, keep everything in front of them and just rally to the ball. Good flow. You know, they're keeping the shoulder square and coming downhill. Good open field tackle there by Jaden Warren, the outside linebacker, the junior, 6 feet, 190. Yeah, just got to do it. But Michael Edwards right there is having a huge game.
And slung down after just a couple on the far side. And a guy who's factored heavily on both sides of the ball is there again.
Yeah, there he is, Mr. Mez Harris. And it's just a little stop, and Harris with the pursuit. Edwards throws off 1 tackle, but he's not going to get away from the all-purpose player there, Mr. Mez Harris. It's a great tackle by the quarterback, who is now a defensive back. And he's a junior, so it's a lot of good things are expecting out of him over the next year.
One of the highlight performers already tonight. And that's going to be a first down. Up across the 35, still battling.
Woohoo! Sheer will. That's Brock Melton. I love the effort. Love the effort. Watch this. Just a little quick hit. You know, just a block coming out. And look, watch this. Stiff arm. He's not going to be denied. Carried another 4 or 5, maybe 6 yards right there. Good hustle.
Now you have me. Now you don't.
That's right.
Melton keeps on digging. There is a flag. Hamrick talking things over with our official. Looks like this was a post-play infraction against Crest.
Yeah, like it was a dead ball, unsportsmanlike against Crest. Not sure what it was. Couldn't get his microphone working there, but the Chargers are backing up, so we know it was against them. Not sure what had happened.
Now, once they sort it out, ball's on the 26-yard line. Opening drive of the third quarter for a Crest team up 10 in pursuit of championship number 7 all time. Chargers last here a decade ago when they won 55-21 over Southern Durham. And of course have won each of their last 2, including that one over Havelock in 14 as they went back to back. And trying to make it 3 wins in the state championship environment in a row. They look to number 3, and Jason Black gets them a little closer.
Yeah, big drive right here. I love looking at number 53 there for Shelby. Sorry, here for Crest and Hickman. And right at the end there, he's driving his feet. He is Gardner-Webb commit right there, just showing why he deserves to be out there on that field. The big fellas moving that pile.
And Hamrick out of bounds, and there was a little extra at the end.
Yeah, it was. And once again, emotions, JP. It's hard to stop once you get your hands on that offensive player, and you're so close to the sideline there. It's hard to stop. And I don't know if they're discussing what they're going to do, but I think they're going to give him a dead ball.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Defense, number 10. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Yep, unnecessary roughness. They got him back. And so there he is, Hamrick. He's running toward the sideline there. And see, it's so hard to stop. It's hard to tell where you are, but he was well out of bounds as he slung the quarterback down.
Some post-play penalties that have been consequential to the early stages of this third quarter on both sides. Hamrick, and I don't think he quite located the football. It's incomplete.
Yeah, it was a good throw. It's hard to locate. It's, kind of like what that Hank Aaron over-the-shoulder catch. Yes, it's hard. Jackie Robinson, one of them.
Willie Mays.
Willie Mays.
Willie Mays style.
Thank you. I'm a football player, not a baseball player. But yeah, Willie Mays style over the shoulder. It was hard to locate. It was a pretty good ball thrown, but that would have been a spectacular catch had he been able to make that.
Everybody's with you. We know exactly what you're talking about. It was the former Giant with that giant play.
Thank you.
In the 1954 World Series. 10:34 to play. Third quarter. And Crest slightly into Hunt territory. Boy, that got to work quickly.
That ricocheted off a helmet right there.
Well, just like that, key third down coming.
Yeah, and this is what, that Hunt defense has to do. They have to get off the field. And here's where big number 99, Dickerson, he's got to make his presence known right here. He was a player to watch, and he has to insert himself into that line and just corrupt something. There he is. He's almost getting there.
He heard you. But it's Melton again for the first down.
There you go. Once again, it's that big-time arm that we see from the quarterback, Hamrick there. He's just kind of settling back. And Dickerson almost got there, but that was a great throw. Hit him right in stride.
Hamrick over to Melton. And a tip-top roofing first down. Faith Family Football Roofing. Tip-top roofing. Sponsoring our first downs here in the third. Edwards again. Not much running room for Edwards this time.
Yeah, that'll go down as a pass, that little pop pass they call it. Just testing the boundaries of that defense, getting them going side to side before they hit them right up the middle, right up the gut.
Well, you mentioned some of these Crest plays going down as a pass. That's a point of emphasis coming into the second half. Will there be any passing unpack for Hunt at some point, balancing those yards out just a little bit? Right now, their D just trying to get that offensive football back. And timeout is taken with 10:03 to play. We will take it as well. Just underway, third quarter, 10-point game. With just over 10 to go in the third.
The need for officials has never been greater. Without officials, we don't have this. Make the right call.
Become an NCHSAA official. Visit nchsaa.org for more details.
Before all is said and done, we will have the Affordable Dentures and Implants Player of the Game selection. Affordable Dentures and Implants reminding you, use your 2025 dental benefits now. Get the smile you deserve. Visit affordabledentures.com. You can find the practice near you. They'll have our Player of the Game selection at some point in the fourth. 10:03 here in the third. Hamrick making a bid to be that guy. And he's still up until he finds the end zone. Touchdown for the Virginia commit yet again, and he just followed the deal makers.
Yeah, he is either a lead blocker or he's following a lead blocker. That was a great run. You know, just a quarterback power. I mean, call it what you want. They outnumber you at the point of contact, and there you go, point of attack. Sorry, and he just muscles his way into the end zone.
Hamrick's latest moment of impact in this game. And the extra point is just as true. Crest's lead growing to its high water mark here.
Yeah, there you go, JP. And before it gets out of hand, Hunt is going to have to make a stop. Hunt is going to have to do something special on special teams, a splash play. They're going to have to, you know, make a stop on defense, but they're going to have to air the ball out right here, JP. First time getting the ball here in the second half, so they're going to have to make something happen right now. It's not time to panic yet, but if they don't get in the end zone this drive, Crest puts another in the end zone, then it's going to be time. But right now, they have to get something going.
80 yards on that drive. You see, pretty impressive in terms of the methodical nature, capped by the 24-yard run from Hamrick.
Yeah, and once again, he shows why UVA made the right choice with him. He's taking matters into his own hand. And right now, somebody's going to have to step up for Hunt.
And they'll be singing the good old song for Eli Hamrick, those cross sabers in his future in Charlottesville, Virginia. Got a number, and that's really one of the headlines of this game, Eric, as we're set for the latest of our Original Grills kickoffs. Elevate your grill game, Original Grills. This was a game, is a game, packed with ACC quality talent. Duke, NC State, in his case, Virginia. You're watching a lot of players under the bright lights of a Saturday night in the high school ranks who are going to be under the bright lights on Saturday nights for a long time.
You better believe it, JP, and they're getting used to it, right? They're settling in, and you see Crest just really settling into the game, not panicking, methodically going through their playbook, making plays where necessary, where they need to, and capitalizing on them. And now it's time for Hunt right now. It's time for their playmakers to step up, starting with Mez Harris, and make something happen right now.
You talk about momentums and runs that occur across the course of a game. When it was 7-0, Crest put up 21 in a row to take a 21-7 lead. After Hunt answered to make it 21-14, they have since posted the last 10. It now sits 31-14 in the back and forth that has been the 5A title game. You said it. Nothing in the passing department just yet for the dual threat QB. Will that change on this drive? Starts with the rushing game and minimal, if any, game here.
Yes, it's going to have to. I mean, if I know that you're struggling passing, I'm going to pin my ears back. I'm going to go man-to-man. I'm going to send the house at you. And that's what Crest is doing right here. And so they're going to have to get something established, you know, whether it be a pop pass, whether it be a sweep, something. They're going to have to get it going.
One jersey change to pass along to you. That was Dobbins, Paxton Dobbins, in jersey number 58. He was wearing 35, now making the switch and wearing 58. And that was right in the hands of jersey number 4, and Surratt would like to have that one.
Oh, yeah. And it's one of those times where he was probably seeing the end zone and the high stepping before he even caught the ball, and he just kind of counted his chickens before. I mean, that's right in the bread basket, right in his glove. And so, yeah, he just probably took his eyes off the ball right there.
Javaris Surratt was exactly where he needed to be, well covered by the senior safety.
Yeah. Got those Wolfpack red gloves on as well.
A nod to what we were talking about just moments ago. Well, how about this run? And the passing game has not yet come along. Keep it in the hands of Jones.
There you go, Ryan Jones. He has just about 1,800 yards on the year, 21 touchdowns, and those yards after contact. Just once again, power play. You pull the big fellas around the end. He's breaking through 3-4 tackles. Make it 5 by a neck roll fell there and just tiptoeing down that sideline. Couldn't quite make it, but good job by Chris Gunter there to force him out of bounds.
The tiptoe results in a tip-top roofing first down as he's up near the 50 at the 48-yard line.
Got to get something going. Got to sustain this drive and get points out of it.
Yeah. You'll remember he had one of the rushes of the contest, 80 yards on his touchdown rush earlier. This is a pretty impressive start to this next sequence.
This is what I like to call a tack read. You see Gunter right there with that neck roll being shoved into the hole and make the tackle. I absolutely love it. Great pursuit. Way to hold on to the ball there by Mr. Harris, but going to have to keep this drive going right now.
You'll have to forgive Eric Gash. He's watching it from a defensive perspective.
That's right.
That's his background and his life. And it's going to be tough on the D.
Yeah.
Out of bounds, just outside the 30. Harris starting to heat up a little bit here.
Yeah, and you see there's an attempt to drop back and see if we can get some chunk yards down the field. But when nothing's there, you tuck it and you get what you can. And he runs for that first down. Good job by the young fella.
So another tip-top roofing first down. And the coaching staff of the Warriors starting to piece it together for Hunt. Jones again. And he gets just inside the 30. Picks up about 3.
Yep, couldn't get away from the safety. Kennedy there, number 17, as he comes up to make that tackle. Just tried to bounce it outside. Good pursuit. Eyes down the field. Good open field tackle right there.
Jamie Hunt facing its largest deficit of the game. You see the vitals on Kennedy, who was in on the action. Jones, and he's near the marker as he lunges forward to around the 22.
Okay. Now, this isn't the case yet, but the clock is not really going to be a friend to Hunt if it continues to roll. So they're getting good chunk yards with the run. They're sustaining the drive, but this clock is winding down, you know, and so they're going to have to strike quick, get a defensive stop, and continue.
And right now you got time to get the job done on the ground. 7:10 to go third quarter. But it means each of these drives must be finished with points.
You've got to get points out of this. You want to get touchdowns, obviously, but yeah, it's just a quarterback sweep to the right there. getting all you can. And once again, there's Mr. Gunther with that neck roll making that tackle.
Takes it into the Air Experts Heating and Cooling Red Zone. Schedule your tune-up today. airexperts.com, where you can find them. Ooh, new ball carrier and a crest result. How about big 2-0 for the Chargers in there with force.
My. It's almost like he tried to run through him. Look at that. He just launched himself into it. Now, this is what you got to look at, JP. If they're reading him, next time, Mez is going to pull that. He's going to be running. He'll hit his head on the goalpost.
First real banner moment where we highlight Christian Stowe, a big part of this defense. And they once again smother the ball carrier. Well, remember, Jones had to exit just a moment ago. He was a little slow moving off. He comes back here and he's surrounded by green jerseys.
Yeah, and they're just attacking. They're getting downhill because there's no threat to throw. They're getting downhill right now and they're attacking the next threat.
And here comes that conversation you were having a moment ago where you have to have points off of this drive now that you've taken the clock down to 5.5 minutes. That means a 38-yard field goal is in order. The distance is there, but the kick from Will Dahl is no good. Special teams player of the year in the conference. He'll be a Shrine Bowler. He's made some solid ones along the way, and you saw the strength of his leg right there. Just couldn't quite punch it through the uprights. It stays 31-14. Mid-third, our broadcast continues, brought your way by Affordable Dentures and Implants on the other side of the break.
Every first day needs someone who believes in all the days that follow. First practice, first breakthrough, first business plan. A Legacy is proud to partner with Wake Forest University to believe in all of your starts. Because when someone is behind you, everything is in front of you.
You probably already have some moments in mind for our Legacy Federal Credit Union play of the game. Legacy and Wake Forest, we believe they'll have the play of the game before tonight is done. Hamrick back to work. And he's got first down yardage and then some up near the 40. A tip-top roofing first down. This is something we've said several times across the course of the day. But with a run like this and a reaction on the near side like you just heard, it is starting to feel like Cleveland County down around the border again here in Durham.
It certainly is, and we're getting into, what I like to call the end game. I mean, they're just going to march the ball down the field. The clock is going to continue to run because they're running the ball. Anytime the ball hits the ground from an incomplete pass, it stops the clock. Right now, the clock is working in favor of Crest. And if they keep pounding the ball right here, it's going to work completely in their favor because the clock is not going to be able to stop. They're going to keep moving the chains, and they are finishing with 6 instead of 3.
There's Jason Black, who makes it back-to-back tip-top roofing first downs.
Yeah.
This is right at midfield. The football's nose resting on the 50-yard line. Now under 5 minutes to play in the third, to Eric's point.
Yeah. And I want to point this out, too, in the day and age of these high-powered offenses and stuff where they're signaling in all kind of plays. Hamrick is coming to the sideline, getting the play, running back in, and calling his number. Smartly gets out of bounds.
Some things still work.
There you go. If it's not broke, you don't need to fix it.
Flag down at the 49, just at the end of his run. Here's Mr. Barber.
Holding. Offense. Number 9. 10-yard penalty. First down.
The holding call brings that back. Well, this Crest team in pursuit. Title number 7. It's been a decade since they were here. You can tell the energy had been building along the way. Got a player being tended to at around the 32-yard line. Looks to be Isaiah Chadwick, who the training staff is working with. Well, tonight's power and high end zone shots provided by First Source Rentals. Reliable, safe equipment rentals. First Source Rentals, rent it. They are powering the game. And good indicator there is Isaiah Chadwick, one of the senior athletes. I say that because he's listed as a wide receiver, a corner, guy who provides so much, as so many do for the Warriors, is heading off under his own power.
Yeah, I love that title, athlete. They didn't give me that title, JP. They said, get your butt on the line, son. You're a line.
Specific responsibility.
That's exactly right. But yes, it's good to see the young fella be able to walk off the field under his own power. You know, it's got to be frustrating. You train all offseason, you work so hard to get to this moment, then, you know, you could get your ankle rolled up on or something like that. And it's really frustrating, but thankfully he was able to walk off, and we'll see him back, hopefully.
First and 19. A good chunk of it as he goes to the skies and hits Edwards across the 50.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. You know, as we look at this replay here, you got 7, 8 men in the box. Well, that's the throwing situation, you know, and so what do? You just pitch it out there to one of your athletes, Mr. Edwards. He's having a heck of a game. You get 5 yards. It's almost like a sweep, a run. You know, he completed the pass and got what he needed to.
Edwards taking some direct snaps in this one. He's obviously made some major catches like that. He's been one of the main catalysts on this playoff run. Hamrick and the Chargers. And this is Tip Top Roofing first down yardage yet again.
Yep, the big fellas up front. You begin to lean on them, and as you lean on them, you get those yards, you keep the chains moving, you keep that drive alive. More importantly for the Chargers, you keep that clock rolling because the clock is in your favor right now.
Edwards had the catch a moment ago when they were behind the sticks, and he so often has come up big for this team in the 2025 playoffs. For more on his impact, here's Madison.
Well, guys, his coach said that he's been a big part of this playoff run. They're playing more complete football in the playoffs. He says the second half has always been the Achilles heel, but the last 4 games, they've won the second half, and Edwards a huge part of that, a receiver, a wildcat quarterback at times, returns punts, and he's been at his best lately.
Certainly the case tonight. Hamrick inside the 35. Well, you go back to some of the conversations this week about how good Edwards has been, about how talented this Crest offense was overall. You know, Coach Jackson said when Hunt was asked about Crest, you can't stop them. You just try to contain them. Right. And they have shown that to be true tonight. Edwards, one of the big reasons why that's the case.
Absolutely, JP. And, you know, got to give a shout out to Big Dickerson, number 99. He made that tackle pursuing down the line of scrimmage. But, yeah, Crest is just, you know, executing their game plan right now, the ground and pound, keeping that clock moving, more importantly, keeping those chains moving.
It'll take us to 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. And we got a player down. Going to need attention once again on the Hunt side. So it will stop the clock just shy of the 2-minute mark at 2:03 to go.
Yeah, it looks like Cooper may be looking at his right shoulder. I think he had his hand up too. Hope that young man's okay. Once again, you hate seeing that But Cooper is a freshman linebacker and running back. We hope that that young man's okay.
The training staff being put in use the last few minutes extensively here in this third quarter. He's right over here near that crest huddle and now to his feet.
Yeah. Once again, always a good sign to see him walking off the field under their own power. He'll remember this. He's making memories right now. Right? And he's hoping, hey, if we don't get it this time, I'll be back. Just hope that shoulder's okay.
Of course, this team here in the state championship environment for just the second time. They were here in 2004 battling for the 3A crown against Concord. Now back and still looking for that first title. Did put the first points on the board in school state championship history and the first of this game. But Crest has powered back since. They hold the lead late third. So this is a Crest team, Eric. May surprise you to know with all the firepower we saw from Shelby earlier today. Won't surprise fans who follow the rivalry closely there in Cleveland County. They handled the Golden Lions 31-24 in that game. Shelby scored late. Was a little more separation than that as Crest showed dominance early in the year. Had a stumble against Weddington. Had a stumble against Ashbrook. Have won the last 5 and are playing their best football, as Madison told you, in the postseason environment. These seniors a big reason. Jason Black across the marker. That is a tip-top roofing. First down, move the chains.
Yeah, Jamaris Howard made the tackle there, but yeah, it's just a quick hitter. Once again, power off that right side. Offensive line making holes big enough to drive a Mack truck or ride a charging Charger through. A good pickup for the first down.
Well, let's use train terminology because that's what Coach Lloyd said about this team earlier this week. He said, few bumps in the road. Playing our best football of late, as we just said. The other thing he said, well, even when things were a little tougher, we kept it on the tracks. They are certainly on track now with a minute to go in the third. Football out.
Oh,
but they're both dead.
That would have been one of those splash plays that they so desperately needed.
It had potential.
It certainly did. Certainly did.
Well, listen for the whistles. Here's a real-time look.
Oh, wow. Seems that the whistles came afterwards, but we don't have the benefit of instant replay, and there's another flag.
Randy James again to rip that out of there. And Jeremiah Thomas thought he was off to the races. Crest's going to come over near the sideline. We'll talk about this with 19 seconds to play for just a moment.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that flag was. I did see a flag go up. Maybe it was a sideline warning or something. Not sure.
He didn't walk anything off either way.
Didn't look like it. Pass. Yep. Oh, good.
Look who read it and took it away. That was the QB spying the other QB as Mez Harris has the pick.
Mez Harris has 4 interceptions on the year, make it number 5. He read it perfectly. It's almost like he was baiting him and wanting him to throw the ball, and there they go. Once again, JP, this could be a splash play that they needed.
It certainly keeps Crest from applying the dagger here.
Yep.
And Hunt with hope. 7 to play.
You know, Hammer wanted that one back. He sees it. He's, it's just maybe his eyes got really big as he saw a wide open receiver, or so he thought was wide open. But there's Mez Harris.
A successful drive would cut it back to 10, but you said it. This team has been methodical in its drives with the exception of the 80-yard run. There's a sense of urgency now. Still unable to add passing yards. The reason in these moments, Devarius Surratt.
There you go. And once again, he shows us why he's an NC State commit. He comes up and he just fills the gap. And it was a clean hit. He just ran right through him, timed it perfectly, separated the receiver from the football. And want to let everybody know.
After play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 1, defense. 15-yard penalty.
Well, the yardage coming Hunt's way after all, following a post-play unsportsmanlike.
Yeah.
He corrected the foul, said it's Donovan Walton that they flagged for the unsportsmanlike. But doesn't come in the passing game, comes in the penalty game.
Right.
But it does move them a little further out of harm's way here, up to the 29-yard line.
And keeps that drive alive.
At the end of third quarter.
Also went ahead and declared the end of the third quarter. Final 12 of 2025 in North Carolina when you return Durham.
Robert, go for more.
Hey! Hurt in a car wreck? Don't go up against the insurance company alone. Let the heavy hitters do it for you. Call 800-LAW-0804 and we'll go after all the money they should be paying you. Stay out of the courtroom and get into the end zone.
Call the heavy hitters, who are attorneys Tatum and Atkinson.
Call the heavy hitters, they'll work to get you more. 1-800-LAW-0804.
Have you been quoted for trench drain system to fix water intrusion? Before you compromise your foundation, talk to Foundation Solutions. We provide a more efficient, more cost-effective way to keep your basement dry. With 30 years of experience in Western North Carolina, we bring guaranteed work, financing options, and real peace of mind. Visit foundationswnc.com or call 828-768-2208.
Starting the fourth quarter, Hogs the ball at their own 29-yard line.
.448 total yards for Crest. Through 3, and the passing game remains hard to come by, as evidenced by that big lick a moment ago. On the Hunt side, those passing yards just seem so elusive.
Yeah, and I think that's the difference in the game. 0 for 6, 1 interception to 192 passing yards for Crest. Yeah, they're going to have to open up the playbook some here, JP. And time is not on their side. 11:53 to play, and they're going to have to get something downfield and start going vertical.
Final quarter of the 2025 high school football campaign here in North Carolina. Happy you've chosen to spend a good portion of your weekend with us. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to you all the way through them, wherever you are, and thank you for making these broadcasts a priority. They've been brought your way by Affordable Dentures and Implants and all of our sponsors, who we'll thank again at the end. And we also say a big thank you to all the broadcast teams. There are so many people who work behind the scenes to make events like this happen, to make these broadcasts possible, particularly when you're working 3 sites across 3 days. And thanks and much appreciation to all those on cameras, in trucks, pulling cable, and everything that has to be done, statisticians, to make the magic happen. We appreciate you so much and wish you as well the greatest of holiday seasons. Merry Christmas to you all. Hard to believe, Eric. Seems like the season just started, and everybody bringing it to a halt here in North Carolina on this 13th day of December. I know you got all your Christmas shopping done.
I'm done. I'm completed.
You're always well prepared.
I'm always 2 steps ahead, JP. At least 2.5 steps sometimes.
And now that the season's over, some of the rest of us can get to work.
There you go.
11:53. And a big thank you to all those behind the scenes who allow these to travel around the country and do these games. And Katie and Lee and all those who allow us to bring you these contests along the way. Big thank you to everybody. Out of bounds. We talked about the sense of urgency that's there. You know this Hunt team is capable. Yeah. But all of a sudden you look up and time is a major challenge.
It certainly is. And, you know, they have 0 yards passing. And listen, realistically, he's throwing into 2 ACC commits. One going to Gardner-Webb. I mean, it's like you look over top, and it's almost like they're daring him to throw because of what Crest is able to line up with. I mean, so you really can't blame him, but you're still going to have to move the ball down the field.
And while it's not their game, you would like to see enough, to your point, keep it honest. Yeah. Instead, they can pin their ears back, and you see the frustration as Crest's front gets in there again. When we called his name just a moment ago, leading the way once more is Christian Stowe.
Yeah, that defensive end, and here he comes. He throws the lineman out of the way, and he gets downhill really, really, really fast to add to that sack total. There he is, and he's a junior, JP.
Well, that may come as a surprise to a number of folks watching here when you look at his development to this point. Still some work that can be done in his high school career. Nice roll for Hunt. All the way inside the 30. That's where Crest will have it when you return to Durham County Memorial Stadium. And our broadcast brought your way by Affordable Dentures and Implants continues.
Storms can come up fast, and your roof is your home's first line of defense. Tip Top Roofing is fully licensed, insured, and trusted by homeowners, HOAs, and real estate professionals. From the smallest repairs to the largest residential replacements, we handle it all, including gutters and siding. As a CertainTeed Select Shingle Master, we offer up to 25 years of workmanship coverage and a lifetime materials warranty. Ask about our senior and veteran discounts and schedule your free inspection today at tiptoproofing.net.
Tonight's high-end zone views of the game are compliments of Cook Rentals. Now in 5 locations across North Carolina. Cook Rentals, renting the smart way to get things done.
Crest trailed early, but surged out front to lead at 31-14 in the early stages of the 4th. Chargers with the football, and now they begin to think about the manner in which they can start to salt one away for a title here.
Better believe it, JP. Probably going to be a series of runs right here. Oh, but here we go, stepping up.
Guess who was waiting? Big 5-1 in there quickly to get the job done.
Macarius Dickerson, I love it. The big fella penetrating through, shedding the blocks and getting right down to business. And hey, we're not done yet. Let's go, fellas. Keep it fired up. I love it to see the big fellas getting emotional.
10:23 to play. Has him in a 2nd down and 15. Call it 14 here. The ball is just inside the 25. Thompson still up, and he is near the marker as he rushes for right at 14 of those yards needed. In fact, he has them. You can move the chains. That is a Tatum and Atkinson first down for Crest, and that's step one in that process of, as we said, salting away what would be a 7th championship here in school history.
Yeah, and you know, they're going to run the ball. They may or may not throw it here, you know, a couple of times, but as long as those big fellows up front can continue to lean on that defensive front from Hunt and continue to get 4 and 5 yards a clip, they'll keep running the ball because that clock keeps running, and as those seconds tick away, it gets them closer to that state championship.
Now, a couple of rushing touchdowns for Hamrick, a couple of rushing touchdowns for Edwards in the game. Thompson and Gamble have carried the ball a couple of times. Nobody's had more touches than Jason Black, and he's a 100-yard back in the state title game. It'll be Hamrick taking it himself this time. He'll take that first down yardage the rest of the way.
Yeah, and there he's patting himself on the chest again like, that was my bad. Not sure if he was going to give it or it was a bad read or bad handoff or interchange there, but he was like, my bad, coach, I got you. And here we go. The clock continues to run.
And again, Jason Black, 15 carries, 105. He's a 100-yard back. You look at Hamrick's numbers, the Virginia commit has not only rushed for over 80 yards, and you know that includes for the quarterback everything else as well. He is 14 of 22 for 192 yards through the air. Who can forget that long 50-yarder when they were backed up early in the game? Flags here as he tried to draw them off.
Well, and he did it well.
But you look at the balance, Eric. On the Crest side of things, you got the obviously 462 yards overall. Almost 200 of them passing, 270 of them of the rushing variety.
Yeah, balanced attack, and that's what you need to do in order to win a state championship. And just stay poised. You know, he got them on the hard count right there. They jump, and it keeps the drive alive, keeps that clock rolling. It gets them one step closer to a state champion.
Based on the skill set you've seen from Hamrick in this game, what's his future in the Atlantic Coast Conference?
Yeah, it's pretty promising. You know, only sad thing for me is, you know, if they were 8 miles down the road, I'd be a lot happier.
We know the glasses through which you see the world.
That's exactly right. That's going to come back. That's a holding. I saw that from up here, even through my my glasses here. I can see that. That's going to come back.
Through those baby blue-colored glasses.
Number 63. 10-yard penalty. First down.
No, you're not the only one that saw it. Several flags here, all coming in at the same time for the holding penalty.
Yeah, and it's, you know, he just didn't want to get his quarterback hit, I guess. But you're out on an island, you're out there on that edge, and you know you can see the jersey pull. So.
In keeping with our discussion, hasn't minded to run the football when needed, as well as what he's been able to do with some very crisp thrown balls through the air.
And to add one other facet to it, a lead blocker.
Yes.
Right.
That's a luxury.
It is.
Time.
And you know, next year when he's playing at UVA, you won't see him leading any runs up there. I guarantee you that.
Well, they'll have other things in mind once he arrives on grounds in Charlottesville. Across the 40 to the 41. That's Jason Black. Again, a 100-yard night on the ground for Black.
Yeah, I love the effort still from Hunt. I mean, they're still flying to the ball. They're still, you know, making those tackles. I really would like to see them, though. First man get there, wrap up, next man, and everybody else attacking that ball, trying to strip it and get it out of there, force a scoop and score or something like that. But they need to get the ball on this half of the field to shorten the field to get them in the end zone.
Second down in a while. They need the 42 on the other side. Edwards. All kind of real estate into the red zone. Yeah. Edwards into the Air Experts heating and cooling red zone. with an explosive play where he found the seam.
Yeah, and that's an easy read from an offensive perspective. You got the box crowded. It means you're man-to-man out on the corner. You release a receiver out there to block, and away he goes.
The premier performer alongside Hamrick in this playoff run for Crest. Drives them a little closer to what might be an exclamation point type score here. You know, interestingly enough, for all the balance we've discussed related to Crest, the 4 touchdowns all on the ground. 2 rushing for Hamrick, 2 rushing for the guy you just saw featured there, Edwards.
Yeah, they're doing exactly what they need to do to win. I mean, the game plan is working to perfection. They're playing, you know, it's a pretty good defense, but more so they're controlling the game and the clock with these sustained drives.
Jason Black down to the 12. One more chance, at least to remind you here that the Air Experts Heating and Cooling Red Zone is in effect. You can schedule your tune-up today at airexperts.com. Of course, this was a 7-7 game after one. Crest outscored Hunt 17-7 in the second. And to this point, the Chargers have scored the only points of the second half.
Yeah. It looks like they're going to add to that total right here, JP.
Certainly poised to do so. Second down.
I love it, the big foot. I thought you said first down. What's going on? Why'd you call that?
5-yard penalty. Second down.
Where do you think that ball was going? Right, he was ready. He was ready.
Well, you told me that's the direction we were headed.
Right. I thought you said first down. You know, I love the conversations. I only know because I've been a part of some of those conversations before.
It's not as easy as it looks, this game of football.
That's right. A lot of moving parts.
17-yard line. Thompson going to take it back around the 12 where the line of scrimmage was a moment ago. More than anything, that puts the clock back in motion for Crest.
Yeah. Good tackle there by Jaden Taylor. Looks like saved the touchdown, saved the tackle. Went at the legs. There you go. Wrapped it up. Did just enough to get him on the ground.
There is a first down available in this Air Experts Heating and Cooling Red Zone chance. It's available at the 2-yard line. Crest may opt to forego that if they can go ahead and close the deal.
Again, that's a pop pass.
Thompson hurdles a man.
Yeah, can't do that.
And finds the end zone. But the flags come in Groves.
Yeah, can't do that. It looked good, right? But he's going to have to save that one for Saturday.
It's a moment that will last.
Yeah.
It simply won't result in 6.
That's exactly right.
They're going to talk about that one on the Crest campus for a long time to come. And around North Carolina, if they witnessed it on this memorable Saturday evening.
Both by the offense. Live ball. Hurley. Offense. At the 15-yard line.
And you can hear the collective groan from the home side saying, come on, ref, how could you not love it?
Right.
Well, he's got a job to do.
They see it on Saturday and Sunday. You know, in high school football, they're not allowing that to happen. But I will tell you, he may have a future in long jump.
In high school football, there aren't too many who can make it happen.
Right.
Tip your cap to Thompson for showing his ability right there. But it does come back on the flag.
Yeah. And he cleared it. I mean, he cleared the helmet, everything. He didn't even touch it.
Somewhere there's a track and field coach that's flipping through the channels in the state of North Carolina. Perhaps found a guy if he's not busy doing other things.
Yeah, he's a junior too, saying, wait a minute, we get this young man out on that track in the spring.
He's got a football future as well. It's going to back him all the way up to the 41. He gives a new definition to 3rd and long. This is worth yet another.
Here we have a Carl Lewis looking like bloop, right over top. And number 15, Johnson is like, hey, where did he go?
Again, I say, it will live on. It simply won't result in points. 5:11 to go, 3rd and forever.
Oh, wow, what do you call on 3rd and 39? A draw, there you go.
Jason Black to the 32. Well, more than anything, that's going to keep that clock in motion and take the game down under 5 minutes.
Yeah, and that's the key. You know, it doesn't have to be pretty by any stretch, but yeah, it keeps that clock running. Don't think you have a 4th and 31 play in the playbook. I don't know if you're going to push, punt, throw an intercept, what you're going to do, but that clock continues to run.
Crest kind of beginning to gather on the near sideline. They've got obviously a couple of timeouts to work with here. No real need to take any the rest of the way. In command of this one, so they'll take it here. We will as well. Balance of the 5A title game and the 2025 high school football season in Carolina coming up in just a bit. Crest Chargers less than 4.5 away, it would seem, from a 7th championship all time, trying to add this year to 94, 96, 03, 04, 14, and 15. What do you hear there? They generally come in pairs for Crest, which means this may be a team you hear from again moving forward. They're certainly trying to put the finishing touches on the 2025 edition of a title after coming back for the first time in a decade. And this may put the exclamation point on what has been a banner day for Cleveland County. What about the toss from the Virginia commit? And the play from Thompson on the other end is just as true. He's going to be flagged again from everywhere, but nobody wearing green and yellow is going to mind in these moments.
Well, I stand corrected again. I said, well, you usually don't have a play for 4th and 31, but maybe you do, right? He was wide open in the corner, and there's where he gets the flag from. He just jumped over a guy, and now he's doing backflips. Can't do that in high school football. It was a good flip. You know, I give him a 10 on the technique, but he's going to get flagged for that every time.
We respect your athletic ability.
Right.
But they're not going to let you get away with the taunting piece here or the hurdling piece there. Touchdown's going to stand this time around. That's the difference.
Yep.
With 4:16 to play. Well, they're taking a stroll here.
Yeah, they are.
As if multiple infractions are about to be assessed.
But you know what? It seems that Crest has a play for that. So whatever, you know, however far back they go, maybe they have a play in the playbook for that.
There are live balls. Live ball. Illegal touch. Offense.
Wow.
The loss of that. Down. After the play. Number 1, Chris. Disqualified himself. Those fouls offset.
Well, he picked up another unsportsmanlike. Referee's still going here.
First down for Hunt.
Well, remember, that was a 4th down play. So when they sort it all out, the points do in fact come off the board because there was a live ball foul assessed before all the flags everyone saw following the play. And because it was 4th down, a turnover on downs will swing the football over to J.B. Hunt. So a couple of scores Thompson and company thought they had secured. Both turned aside here.
And a lot of penalty yards assessed. I don't even know what all they are, but it seems to be a 30-yard. I don't know.
Mike was going in and out a bit as well, so difficult to discern everything. I think you would have had to carry a notebook and have a document in order to decipher everything that occurred on that play.
Yeah.
But once they sort it all out, they have flipped the field and taken a Crest Chargers fan base that was in a really good mood seconds ago.
Not enough sportsmanlike. That was a 5-yard first down.
And giving them something to moan and groan about, some 4:16 away from what they still hope is going to be a championship moment here. Time will tell on that front. But boy, that's a big, big play. The illegal touching piece of it, the initial call you heard there, which was the game changer for taking the points off the board.
And now they're getting back some yards. Yeah. Not too sure, but they'll get it sorted out. We got 4:16 to go, but that was a huge play. I mean, they're still down 3 scores. You never know what can happen here. If they score quickly, quick strike, onside kick, get it back. A lot has to happen in order for them to get back in this game, JP. But hey, stranger things have happened, I guess.
What appeared to be a 33-yard touchdown toss. Instead, after the penalties assessed and apparently declined and walked through a second time, results in a turnover on down. So it's Hunt football, and the East champions have their work cut out for them with 4:16 to play. Stranger things have happened.
Right.
But still down 31-14. And perhaps most importantly right now, a team that has not been able to get anything at all going through the air in this one thus far.
Yeah, and that's where the real struggle is. You know, and once again, you're throwing into an ACC.
It's understandable.
Secondary. You can understand why, they hadn't taken too many shots, but it's going to make it nearly impossible to get back in this game with just handing the ball off with only 3.5 minutes to go almost to try and get yourself back in this game. So.
Well, you can say this about the final quarter of high school football in 2025 in North Carolina. It's been eventful.
Yeah, it certainly has. And the ball pops out. It looks like Crest is going to recover.
Now even more eventful. Coming out of there with the football for Crest.
That's Gunter. Neck roll.
Your man.
That's right.
The defensive contributor that reminds you where football was born and bred.
Ah, look at him. I love it. Getting downhill. He's sitting there waiting. He's hunting. He's hunting. Ball pops out. There he is. Johnny on the spot. He hops on it. Neck rolled intact. Comes out. Look, mama, look at what I got. I got a football in the state championship. Congratulations. And now he's got the turnover chain. I absolutely love it.
Christian Gunter, one of the seniors, And if all that doesn't shake out a moment ago, you miss out on a memory like this. Here's Hamrick. Flags are down at the 50.
In the area of holding.
Well, the Crest folks beginning to take it a little personal right now, every flag that comes down. However, you can understand with the height of emotion that they're experiencing. For the last several moments, they felt like they're on the doorstep of a championship, and they're just trying to salt away those few minutes on the clock.
Yeah.
It's never easy, is it?
That's right. And I think Coach Lloyd just pulled his quarterback to the side and said, hey, son, slide, get down, keep that clock rolling so we can get back home and celebrate this championship.
They got to hurry back to Cleveland County so they can show the Shelby Golden Lions they've got a new trophy as well.
Look at what we got. Yeah.
3:15 on the game clock. And that's more in the vein of what the scenario calls for. Time to select our player of the game. And you might expect he's going to be living on grounds in the near future. Eli Hamrick, the Virginia commit, the Crest standout on this Saturday night, is our player of the game. Brought to you by Affordable Dentures and Implants. Congratulations as you see his numbers on the screen. A remarkable state championship moment.
Yep, outstanding. Congratulations. He had a well of a game. Not only did he throw it well, not only did he run it well, he blocked well. And so hats off to him. Congratulations. Here he is leading on the run again. It's the lead blocker. He got a pancake block. Stay in bounds, I know the coach is telling him. Keep that clock running so you can take it back to the house.
Well, Black again, and again, he's up over 125 yards in this one. Another flag down. Black was directing his blockers. But finishing up on Hamrick, he had the 2 touchdown runs along with good work through the skies
Personal foul
as well.
Flagrant contact. Number 8 in the defense. He just qualified himself.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I'll underscore it. Final quarter of the season has been incredibly eventful. As this game has been, makes it tough to select the play of the game, but our legacy Federal Credit Union play to remember from this one, brought to you by Michael Edwards, the standout from the playoff push.
I love it. Not only did he score, he had an escort with him, and he carried number 2 Harris into the end zone with him.
Well, the 4 touchdowns that counted for Crest. 2 of them rushing touchdowns for Hamrick, 2 of them rushing touchdowns for Edwards tonight.
There you go. Great game by that young man.
Of course, the field goal added in by their talented place kicker, Carson Greer, putting the finishing touches on what right now is a 31-14 contest. And they are trying to put the finishing touches on a championship season. This will take it inside 2 minutes to play. Well, as you reflect upon 2025, and we'll do so for Crest momentarily, in general, your takeaways from this tremendous football campaign.
Yeah, it's been great. You know, we've seen some highs and some lows. We've seen defensive struggles. We've seen offensive wonders, and it's been great. I'm over the moon. I'm extremely happy for these communities that have been represented in these 8 games. I'm extremely happy for the families that have been represented, and these young men that are out here playing their hearts out for the school.
Ball pops out. It looked like there were plenty of white jerseys there to perhaps cover it up. And we await the signal.
Big number 99, Dickerson's at the bottom of that pile. I think he caused that fumble. Did he recover? And he recovered it as well. Still playing his heart out. Love it.
Giving his very best as he snatches away the possession for the crew out of the East.
Yep, watch as they pursues down the line. And here he's going to come in. Boom, right there. Oh, it was knocked out by number 28, it looks like. And Dickerson was Johnny on the spot once again to recover that fumble. Love the big fella, stumbling, bumbling. He got it. Keep your head up. Good job.
C.J. Dickerson's moment in the 5A title game. 86 seconds remaining in the football game. What a weekend, what a season, as we were saying a moment ago, it has been.
Yeah, it's been great. Just happy for the community. Now imagine the elation that Cleveland County's going to have with 2 state champions.
In the same venue, on the same day.
Yep.
It's something they'll talk about for generations to come.
That's right. 10 minutes apart, these schools are. They have those state championships. Congratulations to that community.
And congratulations to all the champions. Of course, Wilson Prep 9-8 over Robbinsville. Tarboro 22-0 over Murphy 2A. Shelby 84-41 over Kinston 3A. Reedsville 50-20 over Brevard 4A. You see what's happening here, 5A. 6A, Watauga 47, Middle Creek 25. Grimsley claimed the 7A 24-14 over Clayton. Huff 21, Millbrook nothing for the 8A title. Those are your 8 North Carolina State champions for 2025. Crest now officially among them. The Chargers back for the first time in a decade, and they are seconds away now from title number 7. Just secured that moment with the head coach.
Yeah, there you go. Showered him with that water and the Gatorade. I'm sure he appreciates it. It's a little cold, but the shower of victory, I'm sure it feels sweet.
The final seconds roll off the game clock, and the 2025 high school football campaign in the Old North State has come to a close with Crest on a banner day for Cleveland County, winning its 7th title all time, claiming the 5A crown.
Congratulations to the Chargers as it's finally starting to set in. And wherever little Bo is, that little young fella, you know he is on cloud 9 right now. His home team won.
Already making his plans.
That's right.
To be involved in a celebration like this somewhere on down the line. The Crest Chargers battle from an early deficit to claim a 31-14 win and a state champion, and standing by with a championship-winning head coach. Here's Madison.
Well, Coach, you remain stoic on the sidelines all game long. Now you're covered in Gatorade. What are you feeling right now?
Oh, I feel great. I'm just so happy for the players, the coaching staff. They all did a great job. We got a great group, and our great Charger fans here tonight. Just unbelievable. It's just a great game.
And it's been 10 years since you guys have been able to do it. Why was this the group to get it done?
Well, it's just a great group. We got a great senior class. The kids wanted it, and they just believed, and they worked hard all year, and it came true.
And this, your first as a head coach with your alma mater. What does it mean to you?
Well, that's number 7 for the Crest Chargers, and that's what it means, and I couldn't be more proud.
Well, congratulations,
Thank
Coach.
You. Thank you.
Back to you guys.
He's a Crest guy. You could hear it in his voice. You could see it in his passion across the course of this one tonight. A team that experienced a few bumps in the road along the way, but to borrow his words, they kept it on the tracks. And on down the track was the 7th state championship in Crest Chargers history.
At this time, we recognize head coach Juan Jackson from the state runner-up Hunt Warriors.
Well, in the 112 years of high school football in the state of North Carolina, few have shaped up quite like this, but 320 games plus into this 2025 season, all champions now crowned. Well, it's been a great year for both the East and West representatives in each of these games. Hunt put together a tremendous campaign. They're being honored for the crown out of the East as they battled it out with Crest in this one. And the Chargers, a 31-14 winner. Eric, as you reflect upon what we've seen just ahead of the trophy presentation for Crest, what are your takeaways here?
You know, I'm just overjoyed for these young men. You know, Crest, congratulations. They're state champions. For Hunt, you know, congratulations. You made it here. We know you like to win. Hey, there's always next year, and they're going to focus on that. And so congratulations to those communities. You know, to Cleveland County. What's in the water down there? They have 2 state champions. One of them set a record. And so hats off to these young men. They're going to remember this for the rest of their lives and wish them all the best in the future. And we've seen some of the stars of the ACC, potential stars of the ACC, play on this field this day.
Well, and make way on the highway for those headed back to Cleveland County. Make way in the trophy case when they get there. Both Shelby and now Crest claiming titles here in Durham. We said it, remarkable that it happens on the same day in the same venue to cap off the same tremendous season. Just a remarkable, remarkable campaign for the Crest Chargers. This team that trailed at 7-0 early, scored the only points of the second half after a 17-point second quarter to win at 31-14.
The award sponsored by the Carolina Panthers.
Superlatives now being handed out.
Honors of the outstanding defensive player in this championship, as selected by media representatives covering this game.
As we'll let you listen into PA here while the major awards are handed out.
The outstanding offensive player goes to
number 2, Mez Harris. For the state champions, the outstanding defensive player in this championship, as selected by media representatives covering this game, is number 42, Chris Gunner. The Outstanding Offensive Player Award goes to number 2, Michael Edwards. Ladies and gentlemen, there were many outstanding individual performances in tonight's NCHS-AA State Championship. However, one stood out, and this individual was selected by a panel of media covering tonight's game as the championship's most valuable player, presented by Morgan & Morgan. The most valuable player for this NCHS-AA State Championship is from Crest, number 0, Eli Emmerich. Thanks again to Morgan & Morgan for their continued support of the NCHS-AA. Fans, thank you for attending this year's NCHSAA Football Championships. We ask for your assistance in picking up any trash in your seating area and throwing it in the garbage cans.
It is now time to snap the photos that will last a lifetime. Crest Chargers, champions in the 5A classification for 2025 on a banner day for Cleveland County. Well, big thank you to all of our sponsors, the wonderful folks at the North Carolina High School Athletic Association, and these broadcast support partners: Affordable Dentures and Implants, Foundation Solutions, Tip Top Roofing, Air Experts, Tatum and Atkinson, Original Grills, Legacy Federal Credit Union, Ingalls Markets, and First Source Rentals. All these sponsors and partners, through their contributions to the program, make these championship games possible for you, the viewers at home. And it is because of you. We thank you for your support and your love of this sport. Congrats to the 2025 champions: Wilson Prep Academy in Class A, Tarboro in 2A, Shelby in 3A, Reedsville in 4A, this Crest team in 5A, Watauga in 6A, Grimsley in 7A, and Huff in 8A. Those are your champions forever from 2025.
I grew up where the world was simple and slow, learn right from wrong, work, road. There was never plan B, just a path I'm taking, breaking on through on the road I'm making. I knew one day I'd get my shot, so here I am to give it all I got. This is the big time, ready, set, go. Work so hard just to make this show. Under the lights, it's time to shine. Get your game face on, cause this is the big time. This is the big time. Ever since my boots first hit these streets, had to scratch and claw, made me hard to beat. They were real early mornings and late nights. Had to put in the time just to get it right. Now it's time to make my stand. Gonna show the whole world just who I am. This is the big time, ready, set, go. Work so hard just to make this show. Under the lights, it's time to shine. Get your game face on, cause this is the big time. This is the big time. This is the big time, ready, set, go. Work so hard just to make this show. Under the lights, it's time to shine. Get your game face on, cause this is the big time. This is the big time, ready, set, go. Work so hard just to make this show. Under the lights, it's time to shine. Get your game face on, cause this is the big time.